Centrally located on Level 2, 15 Victoria Street in the heart of Hobart CBD, Elevate Wealth is the home for all your financial advice needs. Delivering financial advice to all Tasmanians, Elevate Wealth ensures it provides its clients with certainty, clarity and centrally located on Level 2, heart of Hobart CBD, Elevate Wealth is the home for all your financial advice needs. Delivering financial advice to all Tasmanians, Elevate Wealth ensures it provides its clients with certainty, clarity and direction with confidence. Whether it's superannuation or investment advice, cash flow and budgeting, insurance or wealth protection, help with Centrelink or retirement planning. Proud sponsor of the Southern Football League 2020 Final Series and is offering the local community a no-obligation, free advice consultation that can be registered via the following link. Elevate Wealth, supporting local grassroots football, building stronger ties with the Tasmanian local community.
At Clennett's Mitre 10, we've been around for a while. In the 1800s, we began carving a living from the forests of the south, learning to use the right tool for the job, making sure the job was done just right. Well, our history continues to shape our future.
Right now, you need a property agent with skill and empathy. Call me today, Alison Rogers at EIS Property for your market appraisal.
Come on, Kyle, harden up, mate.
Bit dusty there, buddy.
We've got you covered.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does, know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map and then drive further.
Centrally located on Level 2, 15 Victoria Street in the heart of Hobart CBD, Elevate Wealth is the home for all your financial advice needs. Delivering financial advice to all Tasmanians, Elevate Wealth ensures it provides its clients with certainty, clarity and direction with confidence. Whether it's superannuation or investment advice, cash flow and budget.
Oh, sorry, mate. I didn't see you there. That's all right. You don't mind if I go up here a little bit then? Is that all right? So, oh, yep, cool. No worries. Here's all good. Here's all good.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Huonville Rec Ground for this Elevate Wealth preliminary final between the Huonville Lions and the Lindisfarne Two Blues. My name is Tubes Taylor, bringing you this SFL game of footy here on Duff TV. I'm joined by my good mate from the north of the state, Aaron Peachy Roberts. Welcome, Peach.
G'day, Tubes. Nice to be here in the Huon Valley. The ground is okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bit heavy. I think it's the best description. Not too much mud. There might be a bit of mud at the end of the game, though. I can pretend this game is going to be fiery. It's going to be engaging. And if it's half as good as last week's game, Tubes, which you had down here, well, we're really going to enjoy it.
Absolutely. It looks like Lindisfarne have won the toss and elected to kick to the left of screen. Last week's game, Peach, was an absolute belter.
You know what? I reckon it was the best game of football I've seen in any format for probably 2 years. It's just the ebb and flow. You literally did not know who was going to win, and then it kept changing. The ebb and flow was outstanding.
Absolutely. I've been saying it all week. It was probably the best game of footy that I've seen in a long, long time. Local footy is alive and well. That's the Huonville Lions list that you've just seen there. A couple of changes into the side. Johns and Elliott come in. Parker goes out, and I'm not sure who the other player was that comes out. And there's Lindisfarne. They are the form team of the Elevate Wealth Final Series, I would suggest, Peach. They are up and about and flying.
And they're really confident this time of year, aren't they? So often involved in finals football, prelims, grand finals. They know what to do to get the win. They are the only advantage. I mean, last time these two teams played, it was only a kick, and that was down here. So we know they're pretty tightly matched up. Lindisfarne, I think, will come in with a heap of confidence. The only thing I think for Huonville is that I actually think Lindisfarne play this type of condition really well. Tough, slippery ball. They're really hard at it. So I'd imagine this actually may like even a game up, even though it is down here in the home turf of the Huonville Football Club. Some
changes, though, from last time these two sides met. Tom Roberts comes in. So he's a start up forward. He's going to start on the bench there, as we see him walk off. And of course, the Huonville Lions, though, playing at home, probably going in maybe slight favourites, but I think this game's 50-50. Of course, the winner of this game goes through to play Signet in the Elevate Wealth SFL Grand Final, Peach.
Yeah, well, Signet will be watching. Probably not many would have been in the ground today due to the 1,000 limit. I'd actually say probably easily hit that number already. Lots of cars around the ground, but certainly looking forward to this one. I'm actually picking Lindisfarne, a bit of an upset. Strangely, I don't know why, because I picked Huonville Signet Grand Final about 8 weeks ago. I'm now picking against that. I had actually picked Huonville to win it. So, but I just have a sneaking suspicion Lindisfarne are going to find their mojo. They've got so many goal kickers that are capable of playing different positions. Sam Adams in good nick. Cassidy can kick goals. It's going to be dry enough, isn't it, Tubes?
It will be, and we're away. Polinovski wins the tap, taps it back down. Douglas gets onto it first. Out it comes now. Rogers pulled off the footy, no free kick. Then goes the Barnacle. Douglas kicks it high. Joey Miller underneath it, flying high. Barnett somehow comes up with the footy, tries to claim the mark. Theo James has the footy now, goes across the face of goal. Quarrier with a quick kick forward. Who's down there? Ethan Brock. Hutchinson's hot on his hammer. He pulls the ball up. Kicked off the ground by Gold. Douglas comes again. Houth at the heart of the footy. And the handball comes out. Douglas has had 3 touches in a minute. Bends it around towards his good mate, Ethan Brock, who flies high and takes a great grab in front of Joey Miller. And he'll go back and have the first shot on goal. Very similar style to what it was last week.
Gee, that was frenetic, but Joey Miller in the wrong spot. There we see on the replay. Strange. Joey Miller's such a good defender, but he was out of position. But gee, Brock's been good, hasn't he, in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, he's a star of this competition, that's for sure. And Reece Douglas has had 3 touches in about 30 seconds. And in comes Ethan Brock. What boots has he got on today? In he comes. Kicks it through and he's happy with it off the boot. It goes through for a goal. Ethan Brock gets the first of the game and the Lions are away, Peach.
Well, hard to get too much out of it other than the fact that probably a slip up in the defence, the hurried kick came back in. And Brock, elevation, he's got good hops. The other thing is good, he's a damn fine kick, isn't he? That was a magnificent contact on the boot, and the confidence going through him must be really high.
Well, last week he kicked 2 goals for and 1 out on the full. So he didn't have his kicking boots on last week.
It was a little bit slippery last week. I mean, the rain came back and forth, but... So, Huonville Oval, it is dry. There was a lot of water on here, as we saw Ward go up in the ruck. You can imagine he's going to be in there for a lot today. Miller thrown off him. Up to half forward. Defensive work required. Coming over the top was the captain. Snap in the pocket. And it's hit the post, a minor score. So the ball moving freely towards both ends of the ground at the moment. And a missed opportunity there as they made their first attacking movement forward.
Geez, that's a good kick.
That's a monstrous kick. And this is the avenue they'll go. They'll go to that scoreboard side. It's attacking side of Huonville Oval mostly. And we'll see a lot of pressure going out as Mickey Paul tries to get his first touch. But Edmondson, who's been really good nick so far this season, and it's out about in front of Johns, just on half forward here. So intriguing start. Both teams have rushed forward. Brock with the early goal. Huonville with a little bit of belief. And the conditions adequate at the moment. Polanowski, close to the best ruckman this season coming into this Lindisfarne side. I'm sure he's enjoyed himself. And the tackle laid by the ever reliable Tenick. And we're going to have a little hold up here.
So a ball up at half forward now for the Two Blues. Polonowski versus Ward. One down, McIndoe with a quick punch across the top. Out it comes for Bailey. Bailey gets his foot to it somehow. Baker, smart, gets it forward again. Down towards Cassidy and Cohen. That one just drifts across.
A bit rushed at the moment, aren't they, going forward, Lindisfarne, which is not like them.
Well, Huonville have built their game on pressure, and they need to bring it today against the Lindisfarne Footy Club. Cam Johns from fullback, who last week had a compression bandage on his calf, has come out and made his way back into this side. Nice long quick kick out towards McIndoe, who takes a strong mark in front of Gleeson. McIndoe looks up. He's got Andrew Moody, if he wants him, a strong mark in front of the wet area.
He's fit into this team well, Moody, hasn't he?
Certainly has. Off to Barnett, who goes long into the middle of the ground. It's all Lindisfarne here, though. Jackie Houth with the work to do. Somehow got it through towards Baker. Going through was Mickey Paul. Vincent got his kick forward and a mark taken. Bailey played on quickly. Somehow the kick came out, and it's all that man there, Moody's free kick.
Moody with an awkward left foot, but it's effective. So some run here. Huonville's got a player further afield. Standing all by himself is Shank. I can't believe Shank was 30 metres nearly by himself. I think Edmondson was running near him. So Shank, kicker, a goal kicker of note. And the free-flowing movement that we saw last week, Tubes, is never again, even though it's not the best conditions. But I imagine the ball's probably going to stay dry for most of the day. There's not water sitting on the ground. So Shank, from around 45 metres here, would be the second opportunity for the Lions. He'll get his left foot wrapped around it. It's gonna fall short. Paul at the back. It came from 5 or 4 steps, and I cannot believe there was no push from Gall to ensure he knew where Paul was. There it is on the replay. Gall's body needed to be in the middle there to knock Paul off his run. And you imagine he'll kick this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Edmondson's been told that he had the job on Mickey Paul. Mickey Paul goes back and kicks Huonville second. They lead two straight goals to 2 straight points. 10 points the margin on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard.
That was a strange. We might just see that one again on the replay. It just feel like Gall was lost, and maybe he's not the one playing on Paul, but still you got to have some awareness. Here it is here. The knock need to come there. Actually even went to him. Paul's so aggressive with the football, but you need the defender also to be engaged and aggressive at it as well.
I think what happened was Edmondson got caught up moving up to Shank, who was by himself, and got caught on the mark, unfortunately. So Mickey Paul had a free run at it. Away we go, 5.5 minutes gone in the first term. Ward wins it down, Gleeson off the boot. Coming through hard there was Barnett. McIndoe now just can't quite get it away. It comes off the knees, he's caught holding the footy. Good tackle laid by Blaisley. Blaisley from half back. Looks out, he's got Gleeson on long. He goes further afield. It's a horrible kick in the end, and it lands in the arms of Schenk. Schenk swings around onto the left, goes up towards Moody. Moody takes his, I think that's his 3rd mark of the game. He swings around, looks up towards Brock and co, and this one will be wrapped up by Gall. So a little bit of kick to kick here at the moment, but it is free flowing. Out it comes for Gleeson. His first touch. Goes short, finds Janes. Theo Janes across the face of goal. Finds a teammate there in Johns. Johns' kick up the wing, misses Polonowski. Ward happy to see that one across the line for a boundary throw-in.
Just a few mistakes here at the moment by Lindisfarne. Polonowski was by himself by 30 metres. Ward actually left him. They needed to move the ball by a handball and then get extra length, so get the kick to Polonowski. So they'll work it out, Lindisfarne. Really well-coached team. So Polonowski in the ruck. Tap comes down just in front of our commentary position. Great contest. Going to ground was Hay. And we'll see a little bit of that today. The ball will be in the mud a bit.
We just saw that there, Hay just holding the jumper there of Westbury. He's one to watch, Teach Westbury.
Yeah, Westbury's very clever around the goals. Polonowski thumps it with his right mitt. Just gets it further out and knocks it out towards Ryan. That might have gone out of bounds. No, it hasn't gone out of bounds. Quick snap back. Might not go too far. And Gleeson's marked the ball. So Gleeson, really good kick. He's got a bit of mud in his face already. So Gleeson plays on. Launches it to his right boot, and that's just going to drop short. But just see the mud just on the ball, and it's just slipped through the fingertips of Johns. Gets it back out. Great contest as players knocking and clashing into each other and out of bounds.
Yeah, that was Westbury and Barnett going at each other there. Love seeing that.
So throw in here. So Martin just at the front here, really elusive around it. Jack Gleeson as well. That one's just fallen short. Polanowski getting in front again. McIndoe going past it. Liam Ward on his knees, and on top of him is Blaisley, who will be tough as nails today. Blaisley, a really underrated footballer. And we've got a throw in here. So things just settling down after 2 early goals. Ward with the ruck contest. Whacks it out to Roberts. It's back on the ground and out of bounds. So caught in his pocket here at the moment.
So that's where the problem will be. There's a fair bit of water just sitting around the gutter on the outside, which is making the Sharon a little bit slippery.
Only just a gutter too. It's probably just a bit of dirty grass. You're right. It's going to just get in the ball. The umpire may wipe it down.
The old Clements might attend Sharon.
Yeah, that's a great contact. Great result. Polanowski with his left hand around the waist of Ward was okay by the umpire. Knocking in is Dane Bailey. And once again, just in front of the wet area. Everyone's seated today, Tubes. Everyone was huddled under the undercover last week, weren't they?
It was great to see people back at the footy.
Did you have a grandstand named after you last week too, Tubes?
Yeah, there's a temporary one erected by the Cygnet boys, the old Tubes Taylor grandstand. I'm not sure if they'll bring that to North Hobart next week.
The John O'Sourced grandstand.
Yeah. So a boundary throw in here, back at that half-forward line for the Two Blues. They'd love to get a goal here. Polanowski with a beautiful tap down. Westbury tackled hard. It was good work by Ward.
That was excellent. Tannick in there as well.
Free kick going to Barnett. It's been good early, Tristan Barnett. Short one's on if he wants it to Ward. He looks in another direction, hits up Johns. Cameron Johns back into the side after a couple of weeks out with a calf. Fair bit of movement ahead of him. Mickey Paul makes his way out towards...
Well, McIndoe's here, isn't he?
Yeah, beautiful kick too.
Is he playing half back or has he moved up the field?
Not sure what's happening. The Lions go forward again. Brock, Schenk smart. He's got Westbury hot on his hammer. Going back Hutchinson. Hutchinson just drops the footy. Now a chance for Schenk. Schenk around the corner. He's got it. Matty Schenk gets his first, the third for the Lions. And they've really just opened it up after a little bit of a clogged, congested footy at the half-forward line for Lindisfarne. They've just moved it from there.
But you see the pace of Schenk. You'll see it on the replay. Schenk got half a step in front of his defender. I'm not sure who the defender was on that one, Tubes. So you'll see Hutchison. So the kick, he's just half a step in front. That's all you need. And now, okay, he didn't stay in that position. And it was Westbury who actually applied some pressure. But one player went to down, went to ground. Schenk stayed on his feet.
Let's not understate the pressure there from Ethan Brock. He provided a great target up forward, and then the pressure came on, and he turned it over. So the Huonville Lions shoot out to an early 16-point lead.
It's a good ruck contest in the middle. Really going to enjoy these two players knocking in the ruck. Polanowski butters up his own ruck contest, and trying to reach up and grab it was Barnett. Now it's knocked out to the side. So the ever-reliable Kurt Baker dodges one. Clever, stays on his feet. Works the ball up towards the goal. Baker's kicked it. Baker in the right pocket. He just held it for a little bit longer, steadied, found a bit of room, and cramped up tight. He found some space where others may not have.
I reckon Kurt Baker does that for fun. He sells candy like that just as a side gig. Watch this, and he does it so often. I've seen him do it over there at Anzac Park quite a bit.
So there's
the old, magic stuff from Kurt Baker. And then to finish from there too,
and you know what? He took one step extra too, just to steady, to get that angle, maybe the angle maybe even a little tighter. That was a needed goal from Lindisfarne because they were working pretty hard.
So back in the middle now. Ruck contest. Ward and Polanowski. Oh, cop one high there. Scooped out towards the wing here by the Lindisfarne player at the bottom of the pack. Nice work again by Gleeson to get it forward. Johns takes the mark at half back. So Cam Johns just pops it up into the middle. Finds waterproof Booth. You won't see him get muddy today. He's got the gaiters on. Goes out wide to McIndoe. McIndoe with plenty of time. Short one's on here to Ward. Flying high, good punch from Polanowski, and he went back and butted up. That was good work. Moody gets a push in the back, and the umpire says, I'll ball it in. Just quickly, had a text message from the Dave Mann Shandon fan club. Bit upset they've been replaced by you, Peach.
Well, I said to him last night that it was, you know, this was he had a little bit of an opportunity, didn't really use it to his. He said to me he stopped commentating the last 5 minutes. You kept asking him questions. He was too engaged in the game.
No, he did go a bit quiet there, Dave, but it was good to have him, and now it's great to have you back. The umpire will ball it up here at centre wing. Don't forget the William Leach medal is happening tonight at 7 p.m. on the live stream. So
You'll watch that instead of the AFL, surely.
certainly will. Gleeson with a handball up only as far as Vincent. Vincent goes out of bounds and it's hit right in front of our microphone here. You heard that sound.
I don't reckon that could have got any close. I actually thought it hit the van for a second. That was quite an extraordinary noise. We've got the umpire mic'd up as well.
Yep. It's Joey Miller with a kick up the wing. Who's down there? Blackburn worked under the ball. Out it comes now for that man in Thorpe, and the handball out of bounds again.
So they've slowed up a little bit here. What we're seeing though is Lindisfarne are looking to attack and score on the break. I should say Huonville, and Lindisfarne are probably trying to build more for their goals. So 2 fists on that one. Tennick will go in there and he'll try to compete against Wade Booth. And a lot of balls have been thrown in, which is probably an indication on the wrong side of the ground. Lindisfarne need to probably move the ball back to the middle, get attacking on that scoreboard side of Huonville Oval.
Good from Ward. He tapped it down towards Janes. Janes picked it up and got his handball out to Bailey. Now Roberts gets his kick forward. Baker working under the ball nicely was Johns. Johns worked it to the front, and there was Tennick. Tennick's kick comes out, now wider still, and here comes Sam Adams, who's kicked a few goals. Out to Gore, he gets it back here, Adams. Adams from centre wing, just working back beautifully. Gets the kick forward to Young. Young with a fresh new haircut from half forward, sends it long and deep. Who's down there? Big fly from Blackburn from the back. It's punched away, it's out of bounds.
Blackburn would be disappointed to get his hands on that one. He had the run at it and missed it. Tell you what, Tennick is running himself to the ground. I haven't seen a lot of interchanges at the moment. I might want to roll him off for a bit.
Tennick, is that mud or a tan he's got?
It's probably both.
Yep. Been in the solarium, Brad Tennick. That's what they tell me anyway.
Do they still exist, solariums? I feel like
yeah, you can get them. You can find them on the dark web.
Not just painted on the tan, just to show that you've actually found a bit of summer. So thrown here in the right forward pocket. Cassidy gets his left hand. Cassidy out of the pack, couldn't quite get a kick away. Now kick off the ground by Blackburn, and he's gone to the right hand side. So scrappy stuff when Lindisfarne go into their forward 50, but they're in there. When Huonville go, they look a lot neater, and they've got space, and they've certainly got some dangerous forwards up there. But imagine they'll come back. So Johns always likes to hand it off.
Johns to Johns to Johns.
And Johns found Paul, who was cramped in on the left-hand side. So he's got another player running up. It's a chip kick. That's okay. Just staying in. Moody booms it up to a 1-on-1. Oh, there's class. Brock now runs, straightens, knocks it to the right. Well, he did all the work and took the spectacular mark. Then he steadied, ran off his defender, and then wasn't able to get the score.
What a mark.
It was a beauty, wasn't it?
Yeah. Edmondson moves the ball out wide. Joey Miller now. He's got Rawson for company, so he goes back. Looking up, he goes over the top, finds Janes. So Theo Janes with, I think, his 4th or 5th game of the season from half back, pops it over the top. Young, handball's off. Gleeson, smart. Slipped over was Baker, kept running to Gleeson. He's such a good user of the footy. He looks up. Who's he got down deep? He's got at the back Blaisley. Blaisley off the ground. Goal.
There's that scrappy play again from Lindisfarne, but it's resulted in a goal. A bit of loose checking, wasn't it?
Coast to coast stuff from the
unconventional, isn't it?
Two Blues.
Working at the moment, though. They've got 2 unconventional scores from 2 players that don't always kick a lot of goals, but just starting to see some of their better players get a bit of the ball.
Yeah, great work.
It was a great handball, wasn't it, by Baker, who's on his bum and was still able to get the ball away. It was very clever.
So back in the middle. Rucks went up, Ward won it down, kicks forward, through hard. That was great stuff, but Baker picks up and clears the immediate area. Johns, though, reads the ball so well. He takes the mark at half back. He's such a good user of the footy too. He's got McIndoe wide if he wants him. Goes in that direction. Douglas is going to have to be quick, and he is. Took a big divot out, did the Barnacle. He looks up, sends it long down towards Mickey Paul, going back with the flight here. Mickey Paul roves it beautifully, swings around, didn't get all of it. Got a nice bite, though. Quick kick off the ground by Brock. Can't quite. Picked up by Shanks. Shanks tackled nicely by Edmondson. The handball came out from Hutchinson. Finds Rogers, and they'll clear here through Tennick and off to... I was going to say Rogers. I'll do that every time. Baker it was. Barnett, smart, got his handball away just. Trying hard down there is Liam Ward. Barnacle dives in there and then just takes his hands off the footy. Smart stuff by the veteran. The umpire says, I'll ball it up.
Rogers was running, nearly gave away a free kick. So they're trying to get themselves sorted at the moment. I think Paul's coming into the ruck. He'll lose that one. Schenk falls over. Now the tackle laid on a diving Houth. Cleared for now. Cassidy. Jumper pull. Johns high on his shoulder. Cassidy will get a free kick. So they did see the pull of the jumper. Up to centre half. It's going to go over here. Diving out. Brilliant by Blaisley.
What a kick.
That was a magnificent kick. And Blaisley just got a little touch, a little hole on the defender. And here we see on the replay. And he's in the end. It gets him an extra couple of metres. So the best passage of play. And Blaisley, he's looking dangerous. Second opportunity for him in a matter of moments. This time, it's a set shot. So 45 out. We'll have a good look at this one. The umpire a long way to his right and it's through for a minor score. So missed opportunity though. Good game of football here on Duff TV. I hope you're enjoying it. And early stages suggest 3-1-19 to 2-4-16. It's been a really even game, although contrasting ways, both teams have scored a goal. So Lindisfarne will need to keep responding. Slipped over there, Elliott, and it's going to be out of bounds.
Lucky he played on there, Johns, out of the square because it's not out on the full as he played on. So ball in will ensue on the half-forward line for the Two Blues. Houth can't quite. Tennick diving on it. Houth, cop one high, and then it goes, lands in the pool.
Here's that water.
Yep. Go over there, have a swim. This is yesterday down here, Peach.
Yeah, not looking great, is it?
So apparently they had the fire brigade in to pump it out. How
That's community spirit for you,
I love it. I live for that stuff. Ward tried to get forward.
Meanwhile, someone's house burnt down in Glen Huon, I heard.
There's a trip here. So it'll go, not sure who's going to get the free.
Someone's lost a boot, have they? Or is that, no, it's a big divot. Look at that divot there. We've only Ben Duffy on the camera to do the on the P plate still, is he, or has he graduated?
No, he's on his full licence. Out it comes for Elliott. Now off to Houth. Houth gets the kick forward. Who's down there? The waterproof booth gets pushed underneath it by Hutchinson, and he takes the mark and plays on quickly. Westbury just under the footy. Nice pick up by Roberts. Roberts smart to Polonowski, and he's within range here for a ruckman. He's got a beautiful hoof on him.
I reckon he might try and centre this.
Clydesdale. Yeah, smart work as he comes long off the kneecaps of I think it was Hay, and it's tapped through for a rush behind. So
it's one of those kicks, though. It was probably too deep and it's easy to rush those, isn't it? Needed to be another 5 metres further out, I reckon.
Yeah. 21.5 minutes gone here in the first term on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. Johns brings the ball out towards West. It wasn't Westbury. No, that's smart. That's smart stuff by Gleeson. It was actually Dame Bailey who was in the area, and then Jack Gleeson could have blazed away there, but went back and saw his coach and said, well, I'd like to play in the grand final next week.
Just the last minute, wasn't he?
Yep.
He kind of stubbed it. It was a clever kick in the end. Didn't try and do anything too fancy. Just got in his boot, and Cassidy's hands are obviously they're really good when he's got no defender on him.
In comes Cassidy. Big roost. And a nice kick, two off the boot. Michael Cassidy has his first, the third of the term for the Lindisfarne Two Blues, and they lead by 4 points.
Turned it around, haven't they? And this is his kick from Cassidy. He just kicks it through, doesn't he? Kicks through the ball even though he's only 40 metres out. And that's gone another sort of 15 metres. So a good response here. And there's Jaden Elmer there. Writing some notes, I reckon, for his quarter-time chat. And instructions out to Cassidy.
not sure what's been the turnaround in the second half of this first term, but Lindisfarne just seemed to have a bit more of the footy. Paul into the ruck, Polonowski straight down to the neck of Martin. Martin runs onto the cricket pitch, then has a big roost from deep, and he goes long, and it's a goal. Ryan Martin, well, that goal happened in approximately 6 seconds from the start of the time on.
The whole replay can be from the bounce. And let's look at this. You're right, they're winning the ball out of the middle at the moment. You'll see, just come around the side here. There it is. You love it when the ball's tapped straight into your hands. Kick that from 60 metres.
Oh, what a goal.
And it actually kept floating. Absolutely stunning goal. And a stunning result here in the last 5 minutes. 3 goals to Lindisfarne. And after a dazzling start from Huonville, Lindisfarne now back on top by 10 points.
They've moved Mickey Paul into the ruck. Try to bring him into the game. He slips. Polonowski, kick smothered. Great work. Hay running after the footy, driving in there's Barnett burrowing in. And he caught one high. It's going to connection below the legs, so it'll be a free kick going to Tennick. The captain kicks it long towards Roberts. Johns got his handball away. Housing. First time we've called his name. His handball comes into a dangerous spot. Baker off to James. James just threw it away. And Hay will clear momentarily because Theo James is going after it again. McIndoe got in the way of Hay. Hay did well to just keep the footy in front. Out it comes now for Ryan Martin. Martin on the left with a shocking kick. He was slipped as he kicked it, and it landed in Housing's arms.
So Housing off half back. He's going to have to go to the attacking side. They really need to be smarter here, Huonville, and bring it across. Get it across the scoreboard. Bring it down that scoreboard wing. That kick's 5 metres short. Roberts in front. Disappointing result. And Rawson was at the back, and he wasn't able to get into that one. So that was probably 5 metres short, that kick, and he needed to allow Rawson to run off the back of Roberts. Roberts short, trying to find Cassidy. Juggling mark, gets it on the second. So Cassidy near the big divot. And he's in a pocket, which he may really enjoy. Lining him up like an Adam Scott putt. And Cassidy takes another couple of steps back. I actually have a feeling Cassidy's got a set run up for nearly every kick. And you look, he's probably counted those steps. Such a good set shot. And he's in a favourable angle for himself. So Cassidy to extend this lead. It's been a real turnaround in his quarter.
He likes it.
Yeah, look, the umpire stood upright. The Huonville Lions have had a bit of air sucked out of them with those last 4 goals. And Cassidy kicks his second, both from set shots, both from elite passages of play. And you're right, Tubes Taylor, at the moment, Lindisfarne are winning the ball at most of the contest. Really getting out at the moment.
I think it started with Polonowski in the ruck. He's just feeding it down to his midfielders, and he's going both ways here, the big ruckman. So great work from him. What a kick from Cassidy. Tough angle.
He's also getting the ball around the ground, Polonowski too, and so showing his durability, his flexibility as well.
We've got the umpire on the...
Yeah, let's hear him. So there we go.
Knocked out.
Roberts leans down under some pressure, so he just hacks it onto his boot.
Came out, fired.
Baker. Gleeson now. Gleeson with a smooth kick, but John's chopping it off. So Huonville, they're going to come out this side. So Paul has come up the ground. He's got McIndoe over the top for a handball. Decides to go further afield. Barnett slips over, and that's a really good result for Lindisfarne. It's out of bounds in front of the adoring Huonville fans here. So Huonville would really like another goal late. 26.5 gone here in the first quarter. An epic game here last week. Maybe some petrol tickets were burnt because Norfolk got well beaten last week by Lindisfarne. Race on over the boundary line again. Look, it's the thrill sound of the whistle, isn't it? Right in our ear.
Certainly is, Peach. Looks like Ward in the ruck up against Polonowski. How do they go? Bit of a stalemate there. Out the
jump ball, isn't it?
Yeah. Rogers got his tackled well. Edmondson just picked it up and threw it away. Booth got a handball out somehow. Hay, Gleeson, some smooth handball up to Baker, and he's tackled over the line for another boundary throw-in. So it is a bit of an arm wrestle here. Lindisfarne have moved out to a 16-point margin. 3-1-19, the Lions trail Lindisfarne 5-5-35, so 10 scoring shots to 4. Smart by Rogers. Diving on it, Hay, over his head there. It'll be a free kick going to Huonville.
Take it! That's it!
This is Nick Merritt Smith on the mic.
May!
Gleeson going back with a flight, taking an easy mark in the end. Short one's on. Westbury just down on the full, the umpire said.
The umpire's right behind him too, so he was there. Yeah, no, I mean, a bit of guesswork for the umpire because couldn't see the ball, but I think out of bounds on the full.
So the ball will come in again for the Lions. Short one's on here to Ethan Brock, and he takes the mark.
Now, Ethan Brock had a look at the umpire then just to make sure because...
He wasn't sure.
No, he wasn't sure either.
We're going to have a good spot to watch from the Duff TV truck here.
I can tell you what, I can really reach out and touch Ethan Brock's head. He's right there.
In he comes, Ethan Brock, from a tough angle. He's pushed that one across the face of goal. Who's down there? Schenk. On hands and knees, dives on it, and the umpire will ball it up.
I reckon at the last minute he decided to straighten that one at the top of the square. And I don't think Schenk knew that was coming to him, and he just dropped out of his hands.
Polonowski and Paul in the ruck. He jumped a bit fast there, Mickey Paul. Douglas out the back to Moody. Moody's handball missed the mark, and it's kicked off the ground by Hutchinson into the centre of Huonville Oval. Coming through like a freight train there was Johns. He picked it up and smoothed it off now to Vincent. Vincent with a high one, down for Schenk. Schenk around the corner, who's down at home for Mickey Paul with strength. He got his handball away. Very quick, Quarrier around the corner, behind.
Tell you what, build up, 2 opportunities missed by Huonville. But on that moment, just see how classy Mickey Paul is. He beat 2 players and then got a handball off to a free player.
He's huge.
He's a very gifted footballer, great decision maker. So they'll have to go long here. Just slipped over there. Just Polonowski be disappointed with that one. As he slipped as Ward hands it off. Ward might get it back again. And now the rush kick into the middle of the ground. Baker misses him. Johns dances up, tries to get it down. A free kick here to Johns. He was in the air and he was shoved. So maybe play on. The umpire's going to bring this one back.
Gee.
And a free kick here.
I would have thought that was advantage.
Maybe it was where it was. He hesitated. So another little hold there. Tannick nearly giving away a free kick. So Keegan crosses the ball. Cassidy coming in, just preventing the play on then from the Huonville player. One lead, ignores. Now the ball's gone high. Brilliant.
How's the pickup?
That was magnificent by Paul. He actually had the best spot. That's clever by Paul. If it can stay in just in front of Gleeson. No, well, I thought Gleeson ran out of bounds. Yes, he did. So interesting kick in the end from Paul. He could see what he was trying to do just to get the ball out in front of one of his teammates to run onto it. So 30 gone, nearly 31. It's a long quarter here. We have seen some goals. It's been end-to-end football. I hope you're enjoying it on Duff TV. It's an enterprising quarter here from Lindisfarne. In the ruck at the moment is Liam Ward. And a little hold here. The ball going nowhere.
Kieran Rogers doing some great tackle work, assisted by Edmondson on the big bull that is Mickey Paul. See a ball up here at half forward for the Lions. Polonowski did some great body work. Bailey off the ground. Nice kick. Chopping across the front there was Ward. Just a little high there. So it'll be a free kick going to Keegan.
It was sloppy, wasn't it? I didn't need to give that one away.
It's actually Ward. Oh, he's got reported.
Yeah,
too.
It's a high one. Is it Adams? No.
Yeah, Adams is going off for yellow. Okay. So I think that's a report. We'll take another look at it, though, on the Mood Food replay. Just had his head down and dropped the knee. I'm not sure.
It's been quiet so far, Adams, too, so that's going to make it even more quiet.
Certainly will. I think, what's that, a 10-minute spell? He's been booked. Doesn't have to go off.
Tight, Johnsy. Tight, John. Shut him down.
I think he pulled out at the last moment there,
no,
Adam, so
look, I don't think
right.
He might be okay. I'm not sure what his history is, but I imagine that's...
Exchanging phone numbers here, Peach.
Yeah, it's taking a while, isn't it?
Yeah. So this quarter will go a little bit longer still. Doesn't he have to come off? No. Reported. Short one's on here. Thorpe takes the mark. Too far out to score. He's got Houth on short. He goes in that direction, but he's overcooked it. Punched away by Martin. Gleeson lands in his hands. Over the top to Tannick. Tannick's handball. Looking for Johns. Johns does well. And there's quarter time here at Huonville Oval. The Lions 3-1-19. Trail Lindisfarne 5-5-35 on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. Goal kickers for the Lions, it was Ethan Brock with one, Schenk with one, and Mickey Paul with one. For Lindisfarne, it was 2 to Michael Cassidy, a couple of absolute rippers, and Ryan Martin, Kurt Baker, and Dan Blasey all with one each. Peach, how did you find that first quarter?
Well, it ebbed and flowed a bit. It was probably a tale of two parts. It was Huonville early with some stunning run and some stunning goals. And when we saw Ethan Brock kick one really early on, and then Schenk follow up, and then also Paul, you thought, gee, Huonville are really motivated, their running game's going, and their back half with Johns and co was working really well. But then we saw Kurt Baker snap that goal in the pocket. It was a clever bit of football. Cassie then kick a couple, turned it around, and we saw Lindisfarne start through Gleeson and co win it back.
There'll be a change here, I reckon, on the scoreboard, Peach, just showing you how switched on I am today. It'll be 3-2, I reckon. You watch, the umpires will go in, they'll confer, and the lines will go up to 3-2-20.
So they missed that last behind that. There we go.
I think so. 3-2-15, 3-2-20.
You love the metrics. They need to be correct, don't you? No. I know you're a man of numbers that just rush around your head the whole time. Yeah, but certainly Lindisfarne, around the ball, they were great. People like Gleeson, I thought Joey Millett got a little bit. Martin did a few good things. They were able to win the ball out of the contest.
Tennick was huge.
It just gets a lot, doesn't he?
Yep.
And, you know, some of the recruits have been really good for them.
All right, we'll take a quick break here, Peach, in this Elevate Wealth SFL preliminary final between the Huonville Lions and Lindisfarne Two Blues here from the Huonville Rec. We'll be right back with the second term in just a few moments. Stick around here on Duff TV.
Centrally located on Level 2, 15 Victoria Street in the heart of Hobart CBD, Elevate Wealth is the home for all your financial advice needs. Delivering financial advice to all Tasmanians, Elevate Wealth ensures it provides its clients with certainty, clarity and direction with confidence. Whether it's superannuation or investment advice, cash flow and budgeting, insurance or wealth protection, help with Centrelink or retirement planning, the team at Elevate Wealth are here to help. Elevate Wealth is a proud sponsor of the Southern Football League 2020 Final Series and is offering the local community a no-obligation, free advice consultation that can be registered via the following link. Elevate Wealth, supporting local grassroots football, building stronger ties with the Tasmanian local community.
At Clennett's Mitre 10, we've been around for a while. In the 1800s, we began carving a living from the forests of the south, learning to use the right tool for the job, making sure the job was done just right. Well, our history continues to shape our future. Mighty local, mighty helpful. Clennett's Mitre 10.
Right now, you need a property agent with skill and empathy. Call me today, Alison Rogers at EIS Property, for your market appraisal.
Come on, Kyle, harden up, mate. Bit dusty there, buddy. Pipe down, pal. Looks like it's your lucky day, but
Bisley Workwear, we've got you covered.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it, then it's up to you to act. Know your limits and come back for them later. Forget yesterday and tomorrow. Be here now. Drive to the edge of the map.
Second term about to get underway here from the Huonville Rec Ground. Tubes Taylor and Aaron Peach Roberts, your commentators for this Elevate Wealth SFL preliminary final between Huonville and Lindisfarne. It's a 15-point margin. As I said, Peach, they went and fixed the scoreboard. Don't know why anyone ever questions me when it comes to the scores. But
well,
an entertaining first quarter.
That was a ripper. Really engaging game. Lots of free flow. The ground hasn't had as big an impact on the style and the optics of the match so far, so I hope you're really enjoying it out there. But gee, Lindisfarne were good for about 10 minutes. They got on top out of the middle. They started to win the contest. Once they kind of got their structures right, the other thing is they were certainly made a lot more engaged in their back half, way better communication. Probably 2 goals kicked against them. One of the goals from Brock and one of the other, I think, was Schenk, where they were really out, and also Mickey Paul's goal. So lapses of concentration, whereas the haphazard nature at times of Lindisfarne's ball movements worked really well. Cassidy always kicks goals, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves it. So second term underway here from Huonville Oval. Ball up, Polanowski's been huge in the ruck, wins it down this time, only as far as the Barnacle. He gets it up again, starts as he started the first term again. Out it comes for Barnett, who's wrapped up in a Hutchinson tackle. And we'll see a ball up.
It's been good, Douglas, hasn't he? He's such a consistent player.
He's just tenacious, isn't he?
And I feel he doesn't have many breaks either. I mean, he's a stocky guy, but he must have really good aerobic capacity.
Oh, fitness. Oh, huge. Again, out it comes for Martin. Martin gets tackled without it. Kicked off the ground by Janes. Only as far as Schenk, though, because hot on his hammer was Howe. Diving in there is Gleeson. Out it comes here. Schenk got thrown into it. And umpire's pulled out a free kick. It's going to the 2 Blues. Rogers will take it.
Interesting. Didn't see that one. So Rogers on his left kicks it out. It's a poor kick. Golding had plenty of time. Golding finds Ward of the Reese variety. Steadies with a kick to 1-on-1.
Quarry.
That's magnificent. I haven't seen this guy play much, Quarry.
He's 16.
Yeah, well, we just saw the Huonville Colts team get beaten by Lindisfarne. Higher half forward. And unfortunately, jumping up is Ethan Brock, but he couldn't. He had a much taller man over the top of him. And so short option on, doesn't take it. Bailey, now he goes short. Well, I thought they were going to do it. Baker looking for a handball. Holds it, though, decides a kick option. He's got a player further afield. That's Theodore Janes, who's playing off half-back at the moment. Janes is that slow, pragmatic build-up, and they'll rush. Here comes the lead. It was a nice long lead by Blackburn, who we know is going to be a goal kicker. I reckon that's a little hole of the jumper and a missed opportunity.
Pushing the back there.
So here he is again, Douglas. So he's half-back. Douglas, high kick. Johns. That's brilliant. Well, he had his legs taken out, and I can tell you when you land, that can hurt a little bit. So John's just getting himself back up. Gets a lead. Ignores. He's going to have to kick it high now. There's only really one option. There it goes. Now, no real desire then to get the football. One hand, 2 handballs. Rushing past was Elliott. And we've given one away here, so that's disappointing. So Huonville just lacking a bit of composure going forward. That hurts, doesn't it, when he hit the tailbone?
It certainly does. Gleeson, who did some great work, and then not his best as he kicks it out in the wet area. And a classic catch.
There it is.
From the peanut there in the wet area. It'll be a free kick going to Ward. Ward goes short. Finds a teammate sliding in Elliott. Elliott gets called to play on. Gee, coming late there. Not sure who it was. Mickey Paul somehow finds the footy, then goes back from deep. The mayor of the Huon kicks a beauty. Mickey Paul with his second. The first goal of this term, and that's the start the Huonville Lions needed.
Well, it was actually the complete opposite to how they scored in the first quarter. They scored off turnovers. Here we saw slow precision build-up and then the quick rush kick in, and then we saw him in the first quarter, how good he is when the ball hits the turf at getting and bending his body. That's a wonderful finish by Michael Paul.
Wow.
What a goal.
What a beauty. Somehow that just landed in his lap, didn't it?
I just think some people read the play really well. We know he's played skill. He played up in the state league, and he's loving it back down in his hometown. And you mentioned the mayor of this part of the world.
Out it comes for Bailey. Bailey's kick goes forward. Blackburn can't quite get it in his mitts. Big tackle by Gleeson. Polanowski out the back to Bailey. Bailey's handball got sharked. Going in hard there was Adam Johns, and he gets a free kick.
That's good. Great umpiring.
Looks wide. He's called to play on. Gives it off to his brother. or cousin or something, and he's dumped behind the plate by Polonowski.
So sort of 2 minutes of poor footy from Lindisfarne, and this is exactly like last week, Tubes, wasn't it? Ebbed and flowed all day. One team got a run on and the other team worked it back, and you cannot give a kick downfield and Michael Paul there.
Not to Mickey Paul. He's a beautiful kick of the footy. Very similar in the way he kicks the footy to Michael Cassidy. They kick the absolute air out of it.
Is he a bit too far out?
Maybe. This one's just pulled to the near side for a behind.
Kick that's nearly 60 metres still, though. It's still a good kick.
I brought this up last week. Take a look at the goalposts. They've just got a couple of blankets wrapped around them. It's terrible.
They're not overly thick, you're right. I wouldn't want to have be pushed into one by Michael Paul.
No.
I think I'd obviously splinter, I reckon.
Oh, that's a little high on Ethan Brock. So, free kick against Ethan Brock going to Theo Janes.
So Janes off half-back. He's been playing there for the day. Can go forward and kick goals. Brock will be disappointed. That was sloppy play. And that was a strange kick because waiting on that for eternity was Vincent. Kick in. Brock. Busting his way through was Moody. I like his game. Moody goes again. Onto his left. Into the pocket. One-on-one. Brock.
That's a good mark. Gee, that's a good mark.
Well, it's a brilliant mark once you're playing in front, so you give yourself a chance. But it was really good by Moody. On a couple of occasions, he just got the ball moving forward. And he's 2 steps in front, but took it on his shoulder. That's a tremendous mark because we know he's got a really good defender on him in Dane Bailey. So Brock has had one set shot and scored early on. Will he start the second like he started the first? The umpire's moved, but he's going to come back to the middle. Brock's got one. The boys to the Valley have got a couple, and the game evening up again.
So the margin back to 2 points on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard, and I tell you what, Ethan Brock is fired up. You could hear him scream from here, couldn't you, Peach?
Unreal. Let's see here on the replay again, the Mood Food replay. There's that vertical leap again. So can take off from 2 feet. He's got a bit of an old school kicking action. I like it. The ball leaning deep. And there's that shot on goal. He makes such good contact on the ball.
It's Dunstall like that approach.
It is actually, yeah, he sort of crouched over as they do. They tend to stay a bit more athletic and upright. And not saying Ethan Brock's not athletic. He's phenomenally athletic, but it's working really effectively at the moment. It's the first one Polonowski's lost against young Reece Ward. It's Reece Ward in the ruck at the moment. Both Wards will probably run through there. So McIndoe has won one off Tenick. He's going to switch the play, McIndoe. That is definitely the right pocket to kick it to. Paul in there. Juggle. Paul's got it. There was a bit of hand from Edmondson, but it didn't matter. You give that one.
Just see this early from Mickey Paul. The early body contact, just to give himself a bit of extra room, was fairly early on.
So there was 2 touches, wasn't there?
Yeah, and it was brilliant work from the big man.
So turned again. So Michael Paul, an opportunity to get Huonville back in front. They haven't been in front since about the 14-minute mark of the first stanza. Had a shot a little while ago. He was a long way out. Michael Paul drills a goal. The Lions have got a couple. They're back.
Well, Mickey Paul just willing his side back into this contest. They were 15 points down at quarter time. They're now up by 4. 7.5 minutes gone in the second term.
How good's this footy though, Tubes, Taylor?
It's a real treat to watch. And by no means are Lindisfarne out of this. There's only 4 points in it, but the momentum is certainly, or the pendulum swing is certainly with the Huonville Lions. That's a beautiful kick too.
I've done a few games at the NTFA Grand Final a couple of weeks ago, and I'm trying to get an idea of the difference in footy in Tassie. And I reckon the Southern Footy League's gone up a stanza this year.
It's better down here.
There's certainly things that are better. The weather's a little better up the north.
Polonowski wins it, and that'll be a free kick going to Gleeson for a hold off the ball.
You would enjoy the NTFA Grand Final out of Deloraine, mate.
SFL for life.
There's a boy from Northwest Coast.
Oh, no, I'm NTFL as well. And that one comes in. Big punch away by Johns. Vincent so quick and smooth. James gathered the footy and then caught one high from Vincent.
Sloppy, wasn't it, from Vincent?
Yeah, a little bit, but I mean, it was...
He was going hard.
Ducked a little bit there, I think. But so Theo Janes.
He's too far out. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Polonowski all free by himself inside forward 50. So again, not sure where Ward was. He drifted back to the line, I think.
Yeah, well, there's one of them deep at the moment. I think he's running on him.
So how does the big ruckman go? Handball's off to a running man in Johns. Johns handball's off to Westbury. They're getting himself into trouble here. Quick kick forward. And it's all Huonville, punched away by Moody. Nice work there by the defender. He's dove in and caught one high. So it'll be a free kick going the other way for a connection under the knees.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see this on the replay. I thought Moody went to ground first.
That's your line.
Let's see what the umpire reckons. So Moody goes to knees here. Yeah, that's
Gleeson.
correct, I think.
Well, it was there.
Well, that's the rule, isn't
Yep.
it? Yeah, and it's hard to die because I don't reckon Moody saw Gleeson.
In comes Gleeson. He's a real star of the comp. He likes it off the boot and he's fired up. Two Blues back in front.
Isn't he quality, Gleeson? Yeah, he's a beauty. And there's the response, Tubes. You said it was going to happen. And 2 free kicks given away. And Lindisfarne are now back in front, but just see that replay. So going to ground, you've got to be aware where the player standing is.
Oh, look, you've got to keep your feet, Peach, but
yeah,
in these conditions, it's really hard. If you turn, you slip, you're underneath. So there's the replay of the Gleeson kick. It was a beauty, straight over the umpire's hat. So we're back in the middle.
All the skills on seeing, aren't we? Seeing contested marks, running goals, set shot kicking has been phenomenal from both teams. Polanowski again, look at it. Gleeson running it through the middle. He's had really turned this around. When he gets the ball, I reckon they look a couple of goals better. Roberts scoops the ball up. Back to Gleeson. Free kick here. I think it's going to be, I think it's a Huonville free kick.
Yeah, Vincent for a high off the ball shepherd.
Yeah, okay, didn't see that one. So Vincent, Johns, dash from Baker. Just gets his kick away in time. That was a little bit too easy. They've got to play on here. Finds Rogers. Rogers onto his left. That's good from Rogers. Martin did have a player running past, decides it's going to hold and kick to the pocket. 1-on-1. Cassidy getting in front. Came from behind. Nearly got on the second grab. Roberts rushed past. Didn't get it. Tackle laid. McAdoo will have to go in here against Gleeson. Dust. Whacked the ball out of his hands. That's magnificent. Great work by McAdoo.
What a tackle laid by McIndoe. McIndoe plays on quickly. Goes out wide. Oh, Joey Miller, what a mark in front of Dale Thorpe. Miller and 50 now. Not sure what that was for. Creeping over the mark from Thorpe, perhaps.
No, 31 didn't get out thrown out, so that was against Hay.
No, they didn't call it until...
No, you're right. Well, he was
late.
Little hole.
So it's punched away by Johns. And we'll see a boundary throw in.
Little hole then from Golding as well, but didn't give away.
Look at Tennick just there. He's going to hide behind the umpire. Golding comes to him.
He does that at school, hide behind the teacher and just pop out the last minute.
Yeah, probably. Boundary throwing. Cassidy in the ruck. Wins it down to the front. Golding though, smart. Out now for Thorpe. Short kick is a bad one. Dane Bailey chops it off. They're getting a bit annoyed here.
I think we've got the Lindisfarne crew just to the right-hand side of the van.
Blackburn underneath it. It's not at all, it's Ryan Martin. Martin's kick goes high and deep. Ward underneath it, just sat there. Johns.
Got him, Michael.
Umpire there, hot on the spot. Tackled at it. Cassidy gets it up to Baker. Baker arrives as the house of housing. Takes it across the line.
Look at the mud bath down there in that right pocket. The skids of the players.
6 you up. Yep.
Let's listen to the umpire here. We'll have a listen.
Well, he's sucking the air.
He's puffing. Oh, Nick Merritt-Smith.
Go, Tommy, go, go, go.
Old HR puffing stuff. That's a good throw.
Putt.
We'll leave it. Rawson taps it out now. Kicked off the ground by Tommy Roberts. And we'll see a ball in.
Tennick's a bit sore too. He's got a whack in his right side. He's been holding it for a little while and it's actually causing him to limp. I have just heard a little muscle there which runs just down the back.
So a ball in a shocking spot of the ground. It's really quite gluggy here. Baker's underneath it. Umpire calls play on and he'll ball it up.
A bit like your porridge just being left on for a little bit too long, isn't it? A little too gluggy.
That's a good analogy, Peach.
Gleeson just wiping the mud off his face. Ward in the ruck contest. I reckon he's got a free kick here, Ward, too. Yeah, it looked like he had the best position and was taken over the shoulder. So Ward had a lead, and running off was Houth. He decides he's going to come back. At the last minute, that ball drop wasn't great, but it's worked an absolute treat. It could not have gone any better. I know one of your favourite players is Barnett. Barnett just hoofs it up to further field, but it's disappointing as Miller takes it.
He's done that his whole career, Joey Miller, just swiping across in front.
Yeah, and there's some strong hands by Young. Young gets a lead from Cassidy. He's going to go the other way. Nearly grabbing the ball was Keegan. Yeah, he's going to win it, just playing from back. You can hear the noise in the effects mic, and also the sun just playing a little bit of havoc over that far side of the ground. Blow the whistle. Now, they played on here, but I reckon it's going to go back. So it's going to be a free kick here to Lindisfarne. In fact, it should be a free kick to Huonville, I reckon. No, this should be Lindisfarne, shouldn't
Hudson,
it? Yep. So the runner going past, he's going to go into the pocket here. There it is. Just running out of the fingers, just was going and going and going, and Rogers couldn't get it. Rogers gets it back. James dishes out to Polanowski. Left foot's okay, into the pocket. Brilliant by Johns. What a mark. What an absolute stunning mark by Johns, floating back and taking it deep in defence. So switch is on. Is it Golding just needs a run off here, but he's just staying tight. Polanowski in best position. Booth did really well to make that a contest, and now he's got the ball on the ground. He kicks it off, dashing through his Thorpe. Mrs. Thorpe comes out of his hands. The Lindisfarne off half back. Johns, should say Miller. Miller goes short to Baker. Baker somehow just plays on. Baker.
Smart.
Chips. They're on here. Gleeson was over the top. Cassidy's got a couple to beat. Couldn't beat both of them. Tenny just spilled it. James goes past him. Ward hacks it out. It might come back again, though. Miller, 1-1, just gets a handball away. And it's going to go to the boundary line just in front of us.
Yeah, good stuff and good pressure. Case Miller coming back into the side has got the job on Ethan Brock. Good pressure from Ethan Brock, but smart work by Case Miller to just push it across the line. A boundary thrown right in front of us here at Duff TV. It'll be Ward and Polanowski. Polanowski with the double fist. They're going back out. It comes for Blazey. Blazey kicks it up towards the pocket. Cassidy caught behind here. It's working okay for him. Hot on his hammer is Golding. Little scoopy handball. Housing needs to get rid of it. Ducked underneath the tackle. Got his handball away just. Running through was Vincent. Good clean pick up and kick around the corner towards Schenk. Schenk's got Hutchinson hot on his hammer. Schenk plays onto his wing. Quickly picked up and dribbled forward up towards Barnett. Hay does well. Kept his feet. Smart work. He gets it forward to Moody. A little half burner for him. He can't quite pick it up. Hay kept running. That was smooth work. Out it comes for Douglas. Douglas with a handball over the top. Mickey Paul running into an open goal. Can he kick it? He does! Mickey Paul's got 4. What a piece of play from young Dylan Hay out on that far wing, Peach. A smooth bit of pickup and to keep his feet.
So here it is here. I think this is his first, that's his first touch. The ball bounces here off Moody. Emerson went down. Look at that spin and getting his eyes up. Clever to Douglas, and this is a good handball from Douglas too, but how was Michael Paul so far alone? Once again, the turnover and scoring on the turnover from Huonville. They look so dangerous. Lindisfarne have been on top, I'd say, for 6 or 7 minutes, and they turn it over, and that's costly.
They just got the overlap there, the Huonville Lions, and it was a smart shepherd out there by Tristan Barnett too. So a ruck contest back in the middle. How do they respond to two Blues? Out it comes now for Blazey. Onto the left, he's non-favoured. A good kick out towards Theo James. He's got Schenk hot on his hammer. Keeps moving the ball forward to Theo James. Smart work by him. Schenk as well. He's down. Caught one high there from Gleeson.
Now, I can understand why Gleeson thought he's stuck, but he's already down. So it's not like he's ducking into. Gleeson needed to be smarter then. He's a tough footballer, but needed to be smart about going in and tackling Schenk.
Schenk, quick kick over the top. Finds his man in Vincent, who's a good user of the footy. He's got his shoelaces untied, though. Smooth again. Finds
that like chewing your
Ward.
boot, is it?
No, he's just got him untied. That's all it is. So Ward says, come at me, bro. Coming at him. Well, he should have stayed where he was because he's kicked it over his head. Moody off the ground. That's a clever kick. Paul got boofed off the ball by Edmondson. Handball came out from Johns. Wrapped up in a tackle. Smart work again. Hutchinson. Johns, who's hot. Out it comes now. Douglas around the corner. Who's down there for the Lions? Working it nicely to the front. Here's Waterproof Booth. He doesn't like showers, and we will see a ball up.
Yeah, Booth dragged. His head's been pushed into the mud as well. He doesn't have a lot of hair follicles on top of that head either. Paul in the ruck, thumped down by Hutchinson. Miller comes in. He provides a bit of a contest, and the umpire's actually called out a free here, has he? Just to push off. So Miller, the ever-reliable defender. What a wonderful half-backer he's been for his career for Lindisfarne, and looking for another premiership. Polanowski on the lead up from in front of Ward. He's probably had the better of him today. He's brucked against both of them. He's going to go a chippy kick to Tannick. Tannick just got the ball spilled out. Trying to reach down and grab that was Barnett. Theodore James back to Polanowski. Building here, Blackburn. Not a lot of space to work in. I reckon he ran out of it. Out of bounds on the full, so great pressure. And it's going to be taken by Houth. No, Houth dishes it back.
Well, why wouldn't you when that man's there? Johns.
So Johns, who's got a booming kick, he's not going to cross the player. They've been directional at the moment. We have hardly seen anyone cross it. Now that's a free kick. Tannick giving away. It's nearly 50 metres as well, isn't it? Because I reckon that mark was taken. So Ward's taken the mark, and Tannick's just jumped on his head.
Tannick looks sore.
No, Tannick's really sore. So he's taken the mark at 50-50. I don't mind that. It didn't look like he went in with too much gusto. So high up here. Here they come again. Look like Booth. Booth short, Booth's great. Finds Schenk. Schenk goes to the middle of the ground. And Vincent's in there.
A little backward somersault from Alex Vincent.
He's been good, Vincent, this quarter. He's been a little bit elusive, and now we're going to see what he's like in front of goal. You've seen him play a little bit tubes. You reckon he's a chance?
Yeah, I think he's a chance for sure. He's a good user of the footy, Alex Vincent. He looks so aloof when he plays footy, Alex Vincent. He's always got so much time.
He's should he be surfing or something like that?
No, I think Alex Vincent will have to go and look up aloof in the dictionary to see what I'm talking about.
That's a bit harsh.
No, it is. Alex Vincent, the champ from Huonville.
I reckon he's got this one.
I reckon he's got in the bag, and he comes. This will be a good win for Huonville. He likes off the boot. He's tugged at it a little bit, though, and it's through from behind. Doesn't get forward too often, Alex Vincent.
You could tell, too.
Short one's on to Janes. James plays on quickly out towards Hutchinson. The beacon of the two Blues. Looks inboard, he's got Polanowski on short, decides against that, goes longer still, coming out to meet it. Cassidy, too far out to score.
Only just.
Called me Duff last week, I'm pretty upset about it.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? A couple of weeks ago. You are Duff, though.
I am Tubes.
Everyone's Duff.
Oh, that kick's no good. Finds McIndoe in the opposition colours. Sends it long down towards Mickey Paul. Out the back, Ethan Brock trying to get a cheap one. Tristan Barnett, though, rives it beautifully and then dribbles it through. Tristan Barnett with the 4th goal of the term for the Huonville Lions. Gets a beauty.
It's hard to know who's had the better of the quarter. The scoreboard suggests it's Huonville, but here's a replay. It's a good bit of crumbing work. It's actually better than good. It's great because he was under some pressure. He needed to accelerate. Booth's got good pace, doesn't he? He was able to get away. Now it's a neat bit of football. And the most challenging thing at the moment is people walking onto the ground. So we've got the young girl that drinks here very daintily walking. No one wants to slip over on Duff TV and be on some sort of little video format. Douglas in there, couldn't win it. Miller tries to lay a bit of pressure. And there's Douglas again, always engaged, always involved. Bailey hands it out, dishes it off. Now it's raced in towards Houth. Paul with a bit of rush at it. Coming over the top was Edmondson. And he's going to hold it up. Edmondson's got some good hops. He's certainly killing the ball, but gee, they look really dangerous. They've got a multitude of players that can kick goals, Tubes.
Jackie Houth's little hand smother on the kick from Gleeson was very, very good. Looks like he's got the job of going to Jack Gleeson there, Jack House. So the two Jacks on each other.
Mickey Paul in the ruck, got his hand. Oh, here he comes. Brock, right boot, Brock. Couldn't get it, touched off the boot and through for a minor score. So it's a cracking game of football. Hope you're enjoying it here on Duff TV. The Elevate SFL final series. There's been some good pickups. I know you've been involved in a couple of those, just massaging them from your perspective. You've got the fingers in pies, haven't you, Tubes?
Just trying to facilitate relationships that work for both parties.
Westbury. Oh, gee, that's a poor kick from Westbury. And it's out of bounds on the full. Just
pressure on the ball carrier there from the Huonville Lions. We've seen that lift in this second term. The Huonville Lions shoot out to a 12-point lead. They are 8-5-53, Lindisfarne 6-5-41 here on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. Boundary throw-in as this one goes for 24 minutes so far. Barnett ducked into it, there was Gleeson. Nice tackle laid. Houth's hot on him, and the umpire's called holding the footy. Barnett takes the free kick. Jack Gleeson looks like he's having one of those mud baths.
He keeps wiping mud away from his eyes. Must be people keep pushing his head into the ground.
He only knows one way, Jack Gleeson, as this one comes in for McIndoe, who takes a strong run in front of Baker.
He's a good utility, isn't he, McIndoe? He can go forward, kick the odd goal, and he can boom them.
Well, he's going to have to boom this one. He's outside 50. I'm not sure whether they're a true 50-metre line here at the Huonville Rec. Oh, that's a strong mark.
Maybe they haven't got the GST on it.
And here comes the captain of the Huonville Lions. Sends it long. It's not going to make the journey, or does it? It does, but it's through from behind.
Just lost some accuracy as he ran around to his right, but he gave it a good contact on that one.
Goal brings the footy out wide, finds Blaisley, who's in a paddock, a literal paddock. This one looks like it might need the discs run through it. Tennick sends it up long, right in front. Johns, that'll be a free kick against Blackburn. And he'll take the kick from half back.
Yeah, Blackburn has had a run there, but he's gave it in the high. And just Johns, he's always in front. So Johns out to Douglas. Douglas did have a runner on his left. He's decided to hold. Ward with a lead. Now he's going high up. What can Brock do? Was it Brock's on the ground? Taps in front. Kicks it off the ground in front of him. Gets knocked off the football. Bailey kicks it out. It's going to come out towards Gleeson. Missed him. And it's to Wade Booth. Wade Booth goes short. Great kick. Defensive with Bolanowski, and he hacks it out. Booth goes again. Some dash by Gleeson to Tennick, who looks a little sore. Kicks out to run on here. Blackburn might get there first, but some pressure going to be put on there by Johns. Johns goes back and Shepherd's off. A little tap through the fingertips there of Young. Tennick goes down. Some pressure applied by Wade Booth and will hold him up. And not a bad result there for, I reckon, Huonville, because both players went to their ground really quickly, didn't they? One of them needed to stay up.
Yeah, they look dangerous there when they get a bit of space, the two Blues, but Wade Booth did well, just sitting on it like
particularly when he got Cassidy one-on-one in the goal square.
Yeah, don't like that.
So tapped out, going down. Cassidy's still waiting that goal square. It's gone up towards him. It's going to short there. John's going back. So good at sweeping down there in back half, and he's got the footy deep in defence.
He just says, let's slow it down, fellas. That's a good leadership position for mine. As Johns sends it long. I don't know how he takes those marks like that. They're beautiful stuff. Douglas at the front of the pack. Bailey with a smooth pick up on the left mid. Sends it low down towards Young. Young sells a bit of candy, then pops it up. Going back with the flight here. Cassidy's going to have to reach up and grab it. He can't quite. Gleeson, he only knows one way. Tough out the back. Here's one for Cassidy across the face of goal. Through from behind. It's the second score for the the Lindisfarne Two Blues in this term, Peach. They've only kicked one goal.
Yeah, Cassidy would probably kick that one on most occasions, but it was good defence from Golding just prior to that, who actually spilt the ruck contest.
Johns finds Ward. This is the Liam variety award. His kick goes long up towards Quarrier. He's got Miller on his hammer, and he's happy to see a boundary thrown. 27.5 minutes gone in the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. It's a 12-point margin in favour of the Lions. 8-6-54, Lindisfarne 6-6-42. As we see the young boundary umpire throw it in at centre wing. The two Ward boys have been very good in the ruck, but Polonowski's doing a power of work. Here comes Blaisley. And there's the siren. So it is half-time here in this Elevate Wealth SFL preliminary final between the Huonville Lions and the Lindisfarne Two Blues at the Huonville Rec. Lindisfarne 6-6-42 trail the Lions 8-6-54. Peach. Goal kickers for the Lions: 4 goals to Mickey Paul, 2 to Ethan Brock, then singles to Tristan Barnett and Matty Schenk. And for the Two Blues, it's 2 to Michael Cassidy, then singles to Jack Gleeson, Dan Blaisley, Kurt Baker and Ryan Martin. How'd you see that first half, Peach?
Well, it was ebbed and flowed. I mean, we've spoken about, probably said that 4 or 5 times, but early on in that quarter, looked like Lindisfarne were going to get their control back and maybe extend their lead, but it was really amazing work. Firstly, Reese Douglas in the middle. Wade Booth got a little of the wall. You mentioned the Wards, they were great, and they're rucking up against one of the best ruckmen in the competition. They were able to start to win the ball, and then Mickey Paul kicked a variety of goals. We saw the snap, We saw the contested mark. We saw the set shot. We saw the running one. We saw the lot, because he can do everything. And so he really turned the ball around, turned the game back in their favour. But even if Lindisfarne were 4 goals down at half-time, I'd actually say they're very much in the game. They're only a couple of goals down at half-time. They're so in this game. They've had plenty of good players. Probably the 2 best defensive groups in both the whole competition. They're elite defensive groups led by Johns at one end, and I really think Joey Miller at the other. It's really entertaining to watch how they craft it up. The only thing is really interesting is we haven't seen any lateral ball movement. We haven't seen any 45 hit-ups, which is obviously bringing the ball on a 45-degree angle back in or different angle. They're actually playing free-flowing, sort of like late 90s style footy. I'm absolutely loving it.
Those 45s are hard to hit up, though, in this condition.
Well, they're risky in the mud.
Piece, yeah.
But I do see that they're actually pushing across and they're staying on that scoreboard side of the ground, and so they certainly, both teams, have prevented those little 45 hit-ups.
Don't forget, tonight you can watch the SFL competition medals on Duff TV here, YouTube, or the SFL Facebook page, live from 7 o'clock. Who wins the William Leach medal this year, Peach?
I don't know.
It's tough. It's tough.
I think Polanowski actually might get a few votes, but Ruckers don't tend to get them. Well, we've seen a couple of the better players, obviously, who have fallen down. Obviously, the lad that won it last year from Claremont, and sorry, his name escapes me.
Mitch Walker.
Yeah, Mitch Walker. I mean, he had a really good year, but I haven't seen quite enough of Claremont to know how he's gone. But they've obviously haven't won enough games.
Well, that's all live from 7 o'clock tonight. We'll take a quick break here. It's half-time here in the Elevate Wealth preliminary final for the SFL. Huonville Lions lead by 12 points. We'll be right back in just a few moments. Stick around here on Duff TV. House at the heart of the footy, and the handball comes out. Douglas has had 3 touches in a minute, bends it around towards his good mate Ethan Brock, who flies high and takes a great grab in front of Joey Miller, and he'll go back and have the first shot on goal. Very similar style to what it was last week.
Gee, that was frenetic, but Joey Miller in the wrong spot there we see on the replay. Strange. Joey Miller's such a good defender, but he was out of position. But gee, Brock's been good, hasn't he, in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, he's a star of this competition, that's for sure. And Reece Douglas has had 3 touches in about 30 seconds. And in comes Ethan Brock. What boots has he got on today? In he comes. Kicks it through and he's happy with it off the boot. It goes through for a goal. Ethan Brock gets the first of the game. And the Lions are away, Peach.
Well, hard to get too much out of it.
Gleeson. McIndoe looks up. He's got Andrew Moody, if he wants, in a strong mark in front of the wet area.
He's fit into this team well, Moody, hasn't he?
Certainly has.
Short Paul at the back. It came from 5 or 4 steps, and I cannot believe there was no push from Gall to ensure he knew where Paul was. There it is on the replay. Gall's body needed to be in the middle there to knock Paul off his run. And you imagine he'll kick this.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Edmondson's been told that he had the job on Mickey Paul. Mickey Paul goes back and kicks Huonville second. They lead 2 straight goals to 2 straight points. 10 points the margin on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. Free kick going to Barnett. It's been good early, Tristan Barnett. Short one's on if he wants it toward. He looks in another direction. Hits up Johns. Cameron Johns back into the side after a couple of weeks out with a calf. Fair bit of movement ahead of him. Mickey Paul makes his way out towards...
Well, McIndoe's here, isn't he?
Yeah, beautiful kick too.
Is he playing half-back or has he moved up the field?
Not sure what's happening. And the Lions go forward again. Brock, Schenk smart. He's got Westbury hot on his hammer. Going back, Hutchinson. Hutchinson just drops the footy. Now a chance for Schenk. Schenk around the corner. He's got it. Matty Schenk gets his first, the third for the Lions. And they've really just opened it up after a little... Don't forget the William Leach medal is happening tonight at 7 p.m. on the live stream. So
you'll watch that instead of the AFL, surely.
Certainly will. Gleeson with a handball up only as far as Vincent. Vincent goes out of bounds and it's hit right in front of our microphone here. You heard that sound.
I don't reckon that could have got any close. He thought it hit the van.
So moves the ball out wide. Joey Miller now. He's got Rawson for company, so he goes back. Looking up, he goes over the top, finds James. So Theo James with, I think, his 4th or 5th game of the season from half-back, pops it over the top. Young, handball's off, Gleeson, smart. Slipped over was Baker, kept running, did Gleeson. He's such a good user of the footy, he looks up. Who's he got down deep? He's got at the back Blaisley, Blaisley off the ground, goal.
There's that scrappy play again from Lindisfarne, but it's resulted in a goal. A bit of loose checking, wasn't it?
Coast-to-coast stuff from the
unconventional, isn't it?
Lindisfarne Two Blues.
Working at the moment, though. They've got 2 unconventional.
Said, well, I'd like to play in the grand final next week.
Just the last minute, wasn't he?
Yep.
He kind of stubbed it. It was a clever kick in the end. Didn't try and do anything too fancy. Just got in his boot, and Cassidy's hands are obviously they're really good when he's got no defender on him.
In comes Cassidy. Big roost. And a nice kick, 2 off the boot. Michael Cassidy has his first, the 3rd of the term for the Lindisfarne Two Blues, and they lead the second half of this first term. But Lindisfarne just seemed to have a bit more of the footy. Paul into the ruck, Polonowski straight down to the neck of Martin. Martin runs onto the cricket pitch, then has a big roost from deep, and he goes long, and it's a goal. Ryan Martin, well, that goal happened in approximately 6 seconds from the start of the time on.
The whole replay can be from the bounce. Let's look at this. You're right, they're winning to really enjoy. Lining him up like an Adam Scott putt. And Cassidy takes another couple of steps back. I actually have a feeling Cassidy's got a set run up for nearly every kick. And you look, he's probably counted those steps. Such a good set shot. And he's in a favourable angle for himself. So Cassidy to extend this lead. It's been a real turnaround in his quarter.
He likes it.
Yeah, look, the umpire stood upright. Look, Huonville Lions have had a bit of air sucked out of them with those last 4 goals. And Cassidy kicks his second, both from set shots, both from elite passages of play. And you're right, Tubes Taylor, at the moment, Lindisfarne are winning the ball at most of the contest. Half back. Douglas, high kick. Johns. That's brilliant. Well, he had his legs taken out, and I can tell you when you land, that can hurt a little bit. Lacking a bit of composure going forward. That hurts, doesn't it, when you hit the tailbone?
Yeah, it certainly does. Gleeson, who did some great work, and then not his best as he kicks it out in the wet area. And a classic catch.
There it is.
From the peanut there in the wet area. It'll be a free kick going to Ward. Work, and then not his best as he kicks it out in the wet area. And a classic catch.
There it is.
From the peanut there in the wet area. It'll be a free kick going to Ward. Ward goes short. Finds a teammate sliding in Elliott. Elliott gets called to play on. Gee, coming late there. Not sure who it was. Mickey Paul somehow finds the footy, then goes back from deep. The mayor of the Huon kicks a beauty. Mickey Paul with his second. The first goal of this term, and that's the start, the Huonville line.
It was really good by Moody. On a couple of occasions, he just got the ball moving forward. And he's 2 steps in front, but took it on his shoulder. That's a tremendous mark because we know he's got a really good defender on him, and Dane Bailey. So Brock has had 1 set shot and scored early on. Will he start the second like he started the first? The umpire's moved, but he's going to come back to the middle. Brock's got 1. The boys to the Valley have got a couple, and the game evening up again. Kick it 2. Pole in there. Juggle. Pole's got it. There was a bit of hand from Edmondson, but it didn't matter. You give that one.
Just see this early from Mickey Paul. The early body contact, just to give himself a bit of extra room, was fairly early on.
So there was 2 touches, wasn't there?
Yeah, and that was brilliant work from the big man.
So turned again. So Michael Paul, an opportunity to get Huonville back in front. They haven't been in front since about the 14-minute mark of the first stanza. Had a shot a little while ago. It was a long way out. Michael Paul drills a goal. The Lions have got a couple. They're back.
Well, Mickey Paul handballs off to Westbury. They're getting himself into trouble here. Quick kick forward, and it's all Huonville. Punched away by Moody. Nice work there by the defender. He's dove in and caught one high. So it'll be a free kick going the other way for a connection under the knees.
Interesting. It'll be interesting to see this on the replay. I thought Moody went to ground first.
That's your line.
Let's see what the umpire reckons. So Moody goes to knees here. Yeah, that's
Gleeson.
correct, I think.
Well, it was there.
Well, that's the rule, isn't it? Yeah, and it's hard to do because I don't reckon Moody saw Gleeson.
In comes Gleeson. He's a real star of the comp. He likes it off the boot, and he's fired up. 2 Blues back in front.
Isn't he quality, Gleeson? Yeah, he's a beauty. And there's the response, Tubes. You said it was going to happen. And 2 going and going and going, and Rogers couldn't get it. Rogers gets it back. James this shout to Polonowski. Left foot's okay, into the pocket. Brilliant by Johns. What a mark.
Love
what an absolute stunning mark by Johns. Floating back
looking okay for him. Hot on his hammer is Golding. Little scoopy handball. Housing needs to get rid of it. Ducked underneath the tackle. Got his handball away just. Running through was Vincent. Good clean pick up and kick around the corner towards Schenk. Schenk's got Hutchinson hot on his hammer. Schenk plays on onto his wing. Quickly picked up and dribbled forward up towards Barnett. Hay does well. Kept his feet. Smart work. He gets it forward to Moody. A little half burner for him. He can't quite pick it up. Hay kept running. That was smooth work. Out it comes for Douglas. Douglas with a handball over the top. Mickey Paul running into an open goal. Can he kick it? He does! Mickey Paul's got 4. What a piece of play from young Dylan Hay out on that far wing, Peach. A smooth bit of pickup and the keep goes longer still, coming out to meet it. Cassidy, too far out to score.
Only just.
Called me Duff last week. I'm pretty upset about it.
Yeah, he did,
didn't he? A couple
of weeks ago. You are Duff, though.
I am Tubes Taylor.
Everyone's Duff.
Oh, that kick's no good. Finds McIndoe in the opposition colours. Sends it long down towards Mickey Paul. Out the back, Ethan Brock trying to get a cheap one. Tristan Barnett, though, rives it beautifully and then dribbles it through. Tristan Barnett with the 4th goal of the term for the Huonville Lions. So we're about to start the 3rd term here from the Huonville Oval. Tubes Taylor and Aaron Peach Roberts joining you for the Elevate Wealth SFL preliminary final between the Huonville Lions and Lindisfarne. Currently, it's a 12-point margin in favour of the Lions, Peach. What's the message from coach Mick Cassidy for the Two Blues going into half-time?
Well, I would have thought get back to what we're doing in that first quarter, which was brute force in the middle. Jack Gleeson, Blaisley, Baker winning the ball in the middle, making good decisions, getting it quickly into the forward line where players like Johns and Golding can't defend against a quick ball movement towards Cassidy. 2 occasions, Cassidy had the ball right on top of his head.
I'll let you guys know.
And it was so easy for Golding.
Waiting for the checks.
Johns to spoil. There's the umpire just going through the paces.
Young
Nick.
I like this.
You like the control of turning the umpire on and off, don't you?
Yeah.
Is it the fact you like turning them off or turning them on?
Oh, I wish
okay,
I could have
that's 1.
Turned them off a little bit earlier.
That's 2. Let's go.
Yeah, certainly I think they get that. They'll get, I mean, goals are happening in a hurry, aren't they, Tubes?
They certainly are. As Ward wins it down. Douglas probably should have got a free kick. Umpire Nick Merritt-Smith missed it. And he burrows in. And this one will be a ball up again. Let's have a listen.
Same. Yep, straight up.
Ruck one down by Ward. Joey Miller's going to be the first to it. He runs into a Quarrier head-on tackle. And the umpire says, no, give it to me.
Good decision, wasn't it? Joey Miller was ducking down.
Thank you. Take it away.
They're squeaky voices, umpires, aren't they?
Umpire's pulled out a free kick here. It's too high. It's going to Quarrier against goal. Off the ball free kick. So the non-controlling umpire takes control. And Quarrier, the 16-year-old, young man with a smart haircut.
Well, you know he's under 18 because he's got a mullet. And every kid in Tassie wants a mullet under the age of 18 these days.
I want one too. In he comes. The young gun from the Huonville Lions. He sends it on its way. It's not going to make the journey. And Polnowski taps it across the line.
He made sure that went through, didn't he? Did you have a mullet in the early 90s, too?
I was more of a skinhead type.
Right.
Hutchinson out, finds Case Miller. He looks fluffy, doesn't he? A little buzzy man, Case Miller. Short one's on. Oh, it's too short.
Is that even 15?
Well,
he kicked it to the player on the mark. How's that 15?
Not sure, but Ethan Brock plays on really quickly. He pops it up to the top of the square. Who's underneath it? Booth. Quarrier flew high. Out the back, here's a chance for Elliott. Hutchinson tripped.
Tackle.
Free kick.
Good work, Dad.
Good daddy.
Good dad, unfortunately. So that was an annoying one. Cassidy comes up. Cassidy crashes. Corey goes back. He's down. He's tough. But Cassidy's hurt. That was outstanding contest. And to tell you what, there's some action in front of us.
There is no way in my life I'm ever doing what Quarrier has just done then. And Cassidy coming full tilt.
And Cassidy was the one who actually got a little injured. So McIndoe here will get it. The ball smothered off his hip. Roberts trying to win it. And it's a free kick. I reckon Douglas has given one away. That's frustrating. So he's let it play off from that. So Martin with some dash off half back. They're going to bring it back though.
Yeah. I think that this free kick, if we can have a look on the Mood Food replay, I think that this free kick can go one of two ways. It's either high or it's a connection below the knee. So let's take another look at it. We'll speed this up. No, this is too far forward, Jerry. Back a bit further, mate.
It's down.
This one. That one there.
Yep.
It can
Looks
go
like,
either way.
yeah, it's 50. And going by the others, it's probably could have gone the other way, but look, we don't know that one quite as well.
So Rogers with the kick, goes long. This will be wrapped up by Ward of the Reese variety. So Reese looks up. Gee, you need your gumboots out here today. Short one's on to Vincent. Chopping it off Tennick, trying hard. Vincent having to see it across the line for another boundary throw-in. Look at him. Gee, the peanut gallery's filled up pretty quickly there, Pete.
They're sneaking down towards the fences. This game's getting closer, aren't they? Just so they can hear the vocals. Get their vocals out. Express their feelings towards the players and the umpire. Polanowski bashing it out. Tennick in a cramped space, but still getting his kick away. Roberts turns. The ball was smothered off his boot. Gleeson misses it. John scoops down and gets a handball off. We've got numbers here on the far side. Kick's maybe not the best, as Gall's going to be in there in best position, but he's given it away. Oh, what's going on there? He's tried to kick it. He hit the mud instead. Edmondson off half back for Lindisfarne. Kicks the ball over the top. It's trying to find Bailey. Bailey reaches down and grabs the football. Juggles it in his hands and onto his left. Up to centre half forward. Cassidy misses. Daniel Golding with the mark. Golding handballs. Now we've got some lateral movement to Johns. Johns striding, loping up the field. Beautiful bit of footwork there from Johns. That's just missed him. Moody might get it. Misses everyone. And over the boundary line, there's some boos from the crowd. Just expressing themselves again here at Huonville Rec Ground. It's around about 17 degrees. Absolutely no wind, other than a little bit of mud on the ground tubes. It's pretty much a spot-on day for a game of AFL football. Signet waiting patiently. Falling in front. Ward couldn't get it. Ward goes again. Polanowski wraps the tackle up. And we're going to have a stoppage here. So slowing up. We've seen some goals kicked out of these stoppages though. So Lindisfarne will try and build and maybe get one out. Where's Gleeson? Ward with a touch. Nearly to Martin. Smothered. Tennick with a tap. Now there's a whistle here from the umpire. McIndoe's not happy with the decision. So is it going his way? Just waiting. McIndoe's still got it. I think it's a Gleeson free kick. It's going to be 50.
No, Ryan Martin, free kick against...
So we just got it here. So there's the barrel out. Ryan Martin was taken... There we go. Spot on. Good call from the umpire. Ryan Martin wasn't happy with the high contact. And to be honest, Tubes, it was unnecessary.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ryan Martin will take a kick here. He's got the journey in him too. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, Ryan Martin. In he comes. As you say, unnecessary from Chris Elliott. Martin sends it long. Sends it strong, sends it home. Ryan Martin gets his second of the day. The first goal of the third term goes in favour of the Lindisfarne 2 Blues, and Chris Elliott's still out there arguing with the umpire.
Well, he wouldn't want to argue, keep going, because the umpire's going to remember Elliott, and I think it was his free kick against him, the 50 metres. As you see here, the Ryan Martin contact outside the 50. Gee, it's been some long bombs today. He gave absolutely every bit of leverage on that one. And what a bit of work from the goal umpire. How about that? Little smile as well. That's brilliant.
Love seeing that. 7 points of margin in favour of the Lions. Polanowski and Ward. Down it comes from Rogers. The handball over the top looking for Martin. Martin gets it off the ground. Trying to get the footy down there with Thorpe. Houth. And runs into Jack Gleeson. It's a free kick going to Houth.
Quickly shut them.
So Houth looks up. Keep it out of the mud, they say. Gee, you just send it long, don't you? Yep, that's what he ends up doing. Down towards McIndoe and Cope. Fist from behind from McIndoe. Kick came forward. Out for Paul. Paul should have handballed off, but he looks up down towards Brock. Gall plays well, and it's forced out of bounds for another boundary throw-in.
It's hard to stop, isn't he, once he's got a bit of territory. Mickey Paul, you wouldn't want to tackle. You could. I don't think you and I could tackle him, could we?
There's two blokes out on the field right now who I don't want to run into. One of them's Mickey Paul, the other one's Michael Cassidy. A couple of mix. Ruck contest one down, kicked off the ground by McIndoe. Schenk trying to get off the ground again and kicks another behind.
And Schenk just needed to stop that or even get it over the boundary line. And, I don't know, it was a really kick and hope, that one.
Hutchinson moves it on quickly. finds Rogers. Rogers over the top, finds Gleeson. Gleeson quickly moves the ball on, out to Blaisley. Blaisley's got Moody on his hammer and gets his kick away. Into space, now a chance for Tom Rogers from a pocket. Gee, that's a clever kick. And it's forced across the line by Golding for a behind.
Roberts been a little quiet, but ever elusive, isn't he, Tommy Robertson? Loves it, loves muddy days.
Certainly does. Just giving you the punch there.
We just had a hand over there. Punch me in the shoulder. Reward's got it. So a bit of shenanigans in the commentary box here. Tubes doesn't know anything about social distancing. Vincent now. He's had a good game. He's got some defensive work from Blackburn. He's running close to Blackburn and he's done a really good job. Now Blackburn's going to lay a bit of pressure. He goes straight past him. So Vincent up to half forward. Climbing up was Johns at the back. Misses him. Gleeson. Chips. Clever from Gleeson.
He's so good.
James. Centre half forward for him. Cassio the top. Blackburn. Left foot snap is a little wayward. And the umpire dashed a long way to their right. And here we go, behind. So Blackburn gets a few touches, can kick goals. On that one, though, he was under a little bit of pressure and he missed it. So
he's been quiet by his normal lofty standards, Mickey Blackburn, but don't worry, there's still plenty of time for him to come into this game. 5
points. So Lindisfarne scoring by points. The picket fence building for them. Ward up, misses him. Boots off the ground by Douglas. And unfortunately, straight in there is Blaisley. Blaisley chips it back. That's nice. Misses Bailey. Going down is McIndoe. Some pressure on him. Weaving, circling, cramped up. Handball out, nicely done by Husing. Up to half forward. Big contest there as two players ricocheted into each other. And let's hope they're okay. Although it looks like Moody's down at the moment. He looks a little sore. I think they're going to call him. So Moody down. We're going to see this on the Mood Food replay. Going for the football. Here's Moody right in the middle of this sandwich.
Oh.
And he got whacked hard. His head hit the ground. It bounced back up. He's getting up now. So this is a good sign, but he's certainly sore. And I'll tell you what, Tubes, I reckon he's not the only one.
They're asking him what day it is. Do you know the date?
Well, he's nodded there. He's okay. Well, he's staying on the ground at the moment. So the umpire will bring the ball back in play. Paul in front position. His left hand gets it and somehow wins the football over Bolanowski. That was outstanding. Gall gets it first. Now some dash. Half forward. Cassidy in front. He gets a lead, decides to hold one from Blackburn and kicks it high up towards the forward 50. Johns whacks with his left hand and rakes it across the line, but snap! Out of the pack, is that Blackburn?
Pretty sure it was. Let's take another look at the Mood Food replay. It doesn't matter. It's a goal to the Lindisfarne 2 Blues, and they've hit the front.
Well, how about that? It's been a tough. Here we go. So Tennick at the front here. You can see the swipe, and that should have gone over the boundary. I think they actually thought that was coming through, and just off camera. And I think there was snap. Yeah, celebrations. It looks like it was Michael Blackburn, and he's got one. So big moment. That goal really helps. A point and another classic here in Huonville. Paul in the ruck, Roberts in the middle, Gleeson now. Smacks it out into a bit of territory. A race on here. Theodore James shoved off the football. Kick goes up further afield. Nearly gets in towards Quarrier. Quarrier loses and then the tackle laid. Moody looks okay because he's involved in that bump. And the ball knocked over the boundary line.
Teach Westbury was the goal kicker there, Peach.
Good job. But thanks, Tubes Taylor. Jumped out of the van, yelled out to the bench. That's community football, isn't it, Tubes? We've got contact with them, don't we?
Certainly do. So a boundary thrown at half forward. It'll be Mickey Paul up against Polanowski. It came down to Tennick. Now Baker manages to get the footy. It comes out now. Rawson into the middle of the oval. Houth, tackle without it, going to get a free kick. So Jackie Houth from centre wing looks up. He's got numbers in the middle in Vincent. Oh, Vincent's going to have to go hard at this. Hutchinson came fast. Then the kick from Adams was no good. How come that's not a mark?
Must have been touched.
Off the boot. So it'll be a boundary throw-in just forward of centre for the Lindisfarne Two Blues. They hold the slimmest of margins, 1 point. Polonowski wins it down. Rawson gets tackled by Janes. Out it comes for Johns. Johns' kick is affected by a smother. Oh, Ryan Martin, so smart. His kick goes forward again. Johns with a fist from behind, but Westbury kept running. Now the kick goes deep and long, down towards Blackburn. It comes to the front of the pack. Who's down there? Vincent gets tackled nicely by Gleeson, and he's held it up. And the umpire says, "I'll take it, please."
Good decision, because Gleeson dragged the ball back in as well and held his arm there, trying to sneak and convince the umpire.
Umpire Nick Merritt-Smith on that button there. So a ball up right on the top of the square for the Lindisfarne Two Blues. They'd love another goal here. Fisted away nicely. Johns needs to get off the ground. He does so, out to the favour of Rawson. Rawson with a smooth one up to Burnett. Barnett just burrows into Theo Janes and got his hand out. He's caught holding the footy.
Wow.
So Theo Janes will take the free kick. The folks in the wet area aren't too happy about it. This one comes down towards Cassidy, who's got the fist near it. Housing over the top. Blackburn got it back inboard. Now Mickey Paul just with a massive roost. Sends it long. Hutchinson, though, he just reads it best. Looks up, plays on quickly. He's got Baker short. Overcooked a little bit too much. Adams with space. Too much space. His kick goes bending out on the full. No, behind.
Has had a lot, has he, to do at the moment, Adams? And that was a missed opportunity, I would have thought. So tight, tough, wonderful game of football here in the prelim final, the Southern Footy League, thanks to Elevator, bringing the final series. So Houth on his chest had a good little 10 minutes here. Into the action, eagerly involved. A lead from Hay. It's going to go over him. Climbing up over the pack was Ward. Couldn't get it, and over the boundary line in front of Schenk. Just a few players have moved around. Mick Paul's up further. Schenk's gone, I think, onto the ball at the moment. So, and we've got the youngster at full forward who's just coming up the field. So just some movement as Huonville, I feel, are just hanging on at the moment. Lindisfarne get a late goal, or a couple of late goals here. They want to keep the momentum. So Ward comes off Hutchison. Held up in the tackle. Holding onto the whistle. What's the umpire going to do? And he says it's mine, but he took so long, the players got a little bit annoyed and having a bit of a push and shove. And the umpire nearly got whacked at his face as he was getting back up, as on his backside is Keegan. Paul all by himself. Polonowski nearly wins it. Houth goes down. He gets tackled by Tennick. And the result, same thing again.
I think the last 5 minutes, Peach, has probably been typifies almost this game. It's been a real arm wrestle.
It has, as Janes going through, misses it. Paul bashes off one, did not handball that. That is holding the football. That's a great tackle by Young. So Young's got a lead in the middle. Misses Hutchison, decides to go to the pocket. Blackburn up, misses him. Gleeson with the tackle. That's magnificent by Gleeson, but did not have a chance at the boundary line, and it's going to be a throw-in.
So he's beaten by the boundary there, Jackie Gleeson. There's a boundary thrown right on the forward 50 now for the Two Blues. The Lions 8-7-55 trail Lindisfarne 8-9-57. 16.5 minutes gone in this third term. Out it comes for Vincent. Vincent's kick smothered. Through hard there was Ryan Martin, kicked off the ground by
There's a free kick given away here by Gleeson.
Yep. Probably a bit unnecessary.
They're so involved, aren't they? They're tenacious. I wouldn't mess around with Gleeson either.
No. He's a pretty fiery character. Tennick went underneath it there. Nice pick up by Vincent. Oh, and look who came through. Hello. It's Jack Gleeson. Umpire's pulled out a free kick. So I fend off. Not sure what that was for.
I reckon it's high, because the ball's gone out here and he's still in the tackle, Gleeson. So he's given away 2 free kicks for, I'm not going to say undisciplined play, but probably a little sloppy.
Maybe. Across the face of goal. Dangerous kick. It's going to work out okay here to Johns. Adam Johns, that is. Looks further afield. He's got Schenk running up and down the wing here. Schenk gathers it beautifully. All by himself down towards McIndoe, who's got a couple to beat. Does well here, McIndoe. Be happy to see it across the line. Is. And a boundary thrown as a mullet floats across the back paddock.
Is that what they do? They float?
Oh, did you see it? It was just gliding, offloading. I'm
Gliding.
not sure,
I think gliding's okay.
Mullets glide and float. There it is. Look at it in the background.
I
Beautiful.
think nearly wafting. More adjectives.
Boundary throw in. Polanowski, Young, jumped on by a couple of Lions. We'll see another ball up.
Just slowed, hasn't it? Neither team's got the energy, or not the energy, I should say. Neither team's really got a lot going at the moment.
No. Polanowski wins it. John's got a handball away just. Tenek looks up and said, how'd you get rid of that?
Volleyball spike, wasn't it?
It was handball. Rogers got his handball forward, only as far as Booth. Waterproof Booth gets his kick forward and then kicks it into the back of that Jackson Motor Company vehicle.
Who was the tackle laid then on Booth? Because Booth didn't have a lot of time, but he was dragged down and turned the ball over. It's kind of been the story of the game, hasn't it? So Booth picks it up here. That was Cassidy. Great defensive work, and that's really been how it's been for both teams. We've got a hold up. We don't have little ball fetchers, so right in front of the scoreboard or just behind the scoreboard. Kicks up to centre half. John's in best position.
How often's he done that?
A lot, at least 8 times today, and I don't know how, because it's been such a tight game of football, and the display on field here in the Southern Football League has been incredible. So it's a cross ball and nearly grabbing that one. Misses it, goes back again. Baker lays a tackle, maybe a little bit too much from Baker. I reckon that's a hold. And a few free kicks given away here by Lindisfarne. Each time they were building, and they weren't able to build any further. So Keegan now, a long lead coming out from Liam Ward. Here he is. It's a good kick. Not going to go to Liam Ward. It goes to Douglas in front of him. Handballs over the top. Picking up his Blaisley. They go backwards to go forward. Slipping over as he got that one was Young. Little kick off the ground as it rushes past Thorpe's fingertips. Reese Ward with a tackle laid. And Douglas with a hack. Pressure from Miller at the back. Really tight stuff at the moment. Neither team with a real advantage. Gleeson, so involved today. Fortuitous kick. Martin, high kick. It's going to favour Johns. And both teams coughing the ball up. Johns out to Rawson. Always with the long sleeves on, keeping himself nice and toasty. Although it's a pleasant day here in Huonville, not always the case, as we are very late. We're in October, Tubes, and it's finals time. And the ball here has been turned over.
Yep, it'll go to Johns. The handball comes in board to Rawson. Good user of the footy, goes long to McIndoe, who's got heaps of space. He's got Schenk long if he wants. Vincent down towards Paul with strong mitts. Handball's back to Vincent. Vincent runs into an Edmondson wall, and the umpire's going to call him holding the footy. No, a ball up.
Come on was the call from someone next to us. I think he wanted holding the ball. That's holding, probably holding the ball.
Not a lot of prior. He did juggle it there a little bit, I suppose. So we'll see a ball up here. Mickey Paul up against Polanowski, who's done so well in the ruck all day. Surely he gets tired soon. Rawson, smart with a handball over the top, finding Schenk. Schenk got his handball away. Polanowski bends all the way down to pick it up, then goes on it with it. Gleeson gets onto a torpedo and goes long and far up to the forward regions. Cam Johns is going to get there first. He just got tripped a little bit, managed to go back and get it, and then ran into Kurt Baker, and it goes out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Kind of the game's not lost any fizz, but it's much more contested at the moment.
I think there's a lot of tired bodies out there. You do start to get tired as you go through the marshes here on this far wing.
And both teams haven't had the sort of pre-season that you would normally have as well.
Ruck contest again, Polanowski down. Tenek off the ground, nicely done. Tom Roberts keeps his feet. Went back and got it, off to Baker. Baker with a quick kick forward. Who's down there for the Two Blues? No one. Booth looks around. He's got no one really here to kick to, so his kick only finds Bailey. Bailey with plenty of time, should find a target here. Oh, into the middle. Nice defensive work down there by Thorpe. Thorpe's kick goes in, handball, missed the mark of Hay. Hay's going back, punched back by Thorpe. Now a chance for Elliott. Elliott's kick goes further afield. Edmondson came out to meet the footy. There's numbers here with the Lions. Hay does well, bends it around. Baker takes a saving mark there at half back, and handball's off to Bailey.
That was disappointing. Bailey now, some run into the middle. Young had a runner past him, and Young will go out towards the scoreboard. Long lead from Cassidy. Gets onto it. Wheels around as he so often does. Driving kick inside the forward 50.
Oh.
What a mark by Gleeson. Climbed up high, dragged it down from the stratosphere. And this may break the deadlock because both teams have gone back and forward. And we'll see here in the Mood Food replay how good this Gleeson mark is. Look at that.
Oh.
What a beauty. Juggled it on his chest.
Would have been a bit higher if he jumped over anyone except for Cal Rawson.
And so Gleeson, 25 directly in front, needs to kick this.
Mark it down.
You heard it from Tubes Taylor. I reckon he hasn't either, Tubes.
No, he's missed it.
That's a shocker. Actually, it felt like it came off the boot. Maybe he needed to wipe that last little bit of mud off the ball because it impacted on the kick. So can Huonville at the 23-minute mark of this third quarter? They're going to look the scoreboard side and build. 33 minutes was the first and 28 was the second. I feel it's going to be about a 27-minute quarter. We had one small delay when Moody was injured. Ward in best position. And often Reece Ward marks those ones. So Ward, good game from him today. Always there, always involved. Chippy kick to McIndoe. Has to go back and reach down and get it. Hutchison with some pressure off him. He's given away a free kick. Just half a metre off, wasn't he, with that kick? And he's not going to give the ball back. So be careful there, McIndoe. He doesn't give a 50 away. As Hutchison off half back for Lindisfarne. Tennick comes in surprise. Actually going to be Tennick's free kick.
He looks sore,
He's grimacing the whole time, isn't he? So Tennick a little limp. Chips it up. Cassidy climbs up. Couldn't mark it. Dish out the handball.
Oh, smart.
Rawson. That's good to Paul. Paul, where's Brock? Brock's with one lead. Now it's going to go high up to Brock. He's at the back of this one. He's going to have to run off it. Douglas climbing up. Douglas couldn't mark it. And it's going to be held up here, just outside the forward 50.
So Elliott gets his hands on the footy. Ruck contest here at half forward for the Lions. Lions fist away by Mickey Paul. Now in space for McIndoe. He just slipped as he went to pick up the footy, and Joey Miller will mop up. Out towards Adams. Westbury now from half back. Little chip dinky kick finds Gleeson right on the cricket pitch. He looks up and spins around down towards his teammates. And who's that? Cassidy. Almost the mark. Tennick has Vincent hot on his hammer. Trying hard in there. Vincent got it out. Only as far as Theo Janes though. Janes, the cleanest man on the Huonville Oval, looks up. Gleeson gets around one and then kicks it long into the square across the face for another behind.
He's really getting involved. I think the tougher the game gets, the better Gleeson is. He really gets motivated.
No doubt, no doubt. So Johns will bring the footy out from full back. Straight up the guts too, if you don't mind. Finds Ward. All by himself. Ward kicking out towards the Barnacle, who will fly high. Out the back, here's Baker. Baker's got a couple to deal with there. Well done by the Barnacle. Out it comes to Jackie Houth. Houth's kick to Moody. Moody into the middle of the ground. Finds a teammate who goes forward in Thorpe. Thorpe down only as far as Edmondson though. Edmondson pops it up across the face of goal. Dangerous kick. Bouncing ball for Blaisley. Blaisley does well, just manages to juggle it in front of him. His kick is a good one out to Tennick. Tennick slipped through his fingers and a good tackle. Vincent got it away and it's caught holding the footy.
That was magnificent by Tennick, wasn't it? Because Vincent nearly got his hands free and he had a player running past it. Magnificent, Tennick.
There's a Joey Miller fan. The kick comes up. Cassidy slipped through his fingers. Golding went back in and got it. And they clutched together like two mating snakes. We'll see a ball up at centre wing.
I feel like, I'll just have to think through that one. I feel like the ball is just a little wetter. There's Jerry, the pots and pans, #1 pots and pans man in the state. I saw the second on the other weekend, giggling away in the corner like a naughty schoolboy. Oh, dishing, turning. That was nice from Johns. And he's ended up, he was too tight and ran out. So McIndoe, strange handball from McIndoe because he's put a player, what I call, under the absolute pump.
Well, advantage was given there, and I'm not sure there was any.
Yeah, but I suppose you've got to make decisions. So Blaisley wins the free kick. There's the scoreboard, the old-fashioned scoreboard. We don't see many of those. A lot of them are electronic these days. Chips up, Tennick. If he's injured, he's getting in the game at the moment because he's running around Thorpe and Thorpe can't stop him. High kick. Where's the leap? Gleeson was there. Couldn't get it. Now, he might have given away a free kick here. Yep, little push off. So free kick here to Huonville.
Gleeson's not too happy about it.
I think if he hasn't got the ball, he's not happy, isn't he?
He's such a competitor. I love it. Jackie Gleeson.
So, are they going to go back the way they came? No, they're going to come out this side. We haven't seen the ball out here for a little while. That's going to be Ward taking on his chest. He had some pressure from Martin, and he's going to have to take a couple of seconds just to compose himself as Reece Ward copped. Just one in the side then. No handball on. It's been great today, Ward. He's really worked his way into this game.
There's a couple of them too.
Well, there are, but number 7, Reece, has been really good.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Climbing up. That's a fabulous mark. That's Moody. It's been good today, Moody. Got someone over the back there. Hope they're warm. Moody kicks it up. Then Liam Ward misses him. Gee, that's disappointing because Liam Ward was in a really good position. So they're going to build. Dangerous kick across the middle of the ground. It's going to work out okay. Goal now. His kick's a little wobbly. It's going to fall off his boot. Moody in the right spot. Moody just bashes it back. A little bit chaos football at the moment. Outh goes up. He could not win it. Polanowski with the ruck contest. Run here by Miller. Miller's dragged to the ground. Wonderful tackle by Ward of the Liam variety. And that is holding the football.
So Liam Ward will take it at left half back as the siren goes here at 3/4 time. The Huonville Lions 8-7-55, trail Lindisfarne 8-11-59. Goal kickers for the Lions. They didn't get one in that term, Peach. Only the 2 points. The goal kickers are Michael Paul with 4, Ethan Brock with 2, Tristan Barnett has 1, so does Matty Schenk. And for the Two Blues, it's 2 to Ryan Martin, 2 to Mick Cassidy, then singles to Gleeson, Blaisley and Baker. And Teej Westbury had the last goal of that term. So just the 2 goals in that quarter kicked by the Lindisfarne Footy Club, Peach.
Yeah, it was a strange quarter. It was completely different for the first 2, where we saw the ball ping back and cross between half-back to half-back. Contested ball, clever running goals. May open up again, but I feel we've just got into a dour game of contested and tight and tough football. Jack Gleeson's probably the one that's winning the ball at the middle. He's also gone forward and took that spectacular mark, and be disappointed he didn't kick a goal. Baker and co are doing really well. Ryan Martin's been involved. Ryan Emerson off half-back and Polanowski in the ruck. We've mentioned him a lot. He's been outstanding, and he'll be an influence in that last quarter.
I think he will be. It depends on his fitness, doesn't it? Because he has had absolutely no help.
I reckon he's rucked all year by
yeah.
himself often. Not always, but a lot of it. Edmondson's come in a few times, but he's generally been the player in there.
All right, we'll take a quick break here at 3/4 time from the Elevate Wealth SFL preliminary final between Huonville and Lindisfarne. It is 4 points the margin in favour of the Two Blues. Of course, tonight the SFL Medal Count and Awards presentation live on the SFL Facebook and Duff TV YouTube channels. We will be right back in just a few moments. Stick around, a crackerjack final quarter coming to you live from the Huonville Rec in just a few moments here on Duff TV.
Centrally located on Level 2, 15 Victoria Street in the heart of Hobart CBD, Elevate Wealth is the home for all your financial advice needs. Delivering financial advice to all Tasmanians, Elevate Wealth ensures it provides its clients with certainty, clarity and direction with confidence. Whether it's superannuation or investment advice, cash flow and budgeting, insurance or wealth protection, help with Centrelink or retirement planning, the team at Elevate Wealth are here to help. Elevate Wealth is a proud sponsor of the Southern Football League 2020 Final Series and is offering the local community a no-obligation, free advice consultation that can be registered via the following link. Elevate Wealth, supporting local grassroots football, building stronger ties with the Tasmanian local community.
At Clennett's Mitre 10, we've been around for a while. In the 1800s, we began carving a living from the forests of the south, learning to use the right tool for the job, making sure the job was done just right. Well, our history continues to shape our future. Mighty local, mighty helpful. Clennett's Mitre 10.
Right now, you need a property agent with skill and empathy. Call me today, Alison Rogers at EIS Property for your market appraisal.
Come on, Kyle, harden up, mate. Bit dusty there, buddy. Pipe down, pal. Looks like it's your lucky day, but
Bisley Workwear. We've got you covered.
In today's world of self-service, it's nice to know that there's still a place where you can sit back and relax. Bennett's Driveway Service, now at Snug, Lerner Valley and Sandy Bay. For more than 40 years, Bennett's Petroleum has been there for all Tasmanians.
All it does is call. And when you hear it,
So there has been an adjustment on the scoreboard. As I said, it was 8-8-56. Again, the scoreboard here missing a point. So, Peach, it is just 3 points the margin here at three-quarter time.
What a beauty. Look, and Signet are waiting in the wings. And I'll be watching this. I reckon they're going beat the absolute living bejesus out of each other. And we'll be more than happy going in onto what we think is going to be a dry week in southern Tassie. North Hobart will hold up strong. But I'm just going to say before I'll kick into you to take the first few moments here, Tubes, it's going to be an absolute bottler of a last quarter. But it's great to see southern footy, two teams south of the sideling, back dominating footy again, because they've had a bit of a drought for a few years.
Yep, certainly has. So it's a free kick being pulled out here by the umpire. It'll go the way of Thorpe. And he's been sent off. Let's have a look at what that was for. Gee, not sure. Oh, a little, gee, I don't necessarily think that's a send-offable offence there for Jack Gleeson, but he's going to have a spell, so that's a big off.
Is it one of those ones that's been building for a little while? You kind of get some credits taken away from you, which is not how they umpire.
Look, he's such a competitor, and it was an off-the-ball hit, but he was trying to push Dale Thorpe off the ball. I don't see much in that, nothing to speak of anyway, as the kick comes forward now by Thorpe.
That's
down towards Paul, who takes a 1-metre.
Well, it's interesting. Polanowski fell over. I don't think there was a push. Great umpiring. Look at Paul. He's pumped.
Well, he looked over to the old wet area there, Mickey Paul, his loyal subjects, and said, hey, watch this. I'm about to drag him across the line. Take another look at this on the Mood Food replay.
Yeah, Polanowski tripped. He tripped over.
No, he got pushed over by his own teammate.
Yeah, it was Edmondson, wasn't it?
Here we go, Mickey Paul for his 5th goal. And he comes, the champ from Huonville, and he sends it home. He's happy with it off the boot. Mickey Paul gets his 5th of the game, and Huonville are back in front.
Wow, here's a goal, here's a score. There it is, see it swing, but it swung well after he went through the 2 big sticks. All he did was add to the pantomime of the moment to make the umpire spin to his right, make sure it got through. It is sensational. So that's the first goal for 45 minutes for Huonville.
It's been a long, long time coming. They haven't had they didn't get a goal in that 3rd term at all. And they didn't really look like it either, Peach.
And you know what? Polanowski was in the ruck for that first one. And I know they didn't win it out because he wasn't there, but that's about the first ruck contest he hasn't been involved in.
Handball came out to Ward. He got tackled hard on the cricket pitch. The umpire's called a free kick, an advantage paid. Out comes Thorpe again, looking down towards Brock. Brock will fly. Oh. He got his arms chopped maybe. Joey Miller at the back of the pack will rove. His kick's coming out towards Rawson and James. Rawson read it best. He looks up, sends a little worm burner down. Oh, couldn't quite get it, Quarrier. He goes back in to get it though. Out at the back, here's a chance for the Barnacle Reese Douglas. Handball out into space. Now Moody going back to get the footy. He's got time. Handball's over the top looking for Schenk. Schenk, Miller. Now a handball out by Baker. Quick one out to Rogers. The 2 brothers doing well to get the footy away. Now Theo James has some time and space to look up. Reading it best though, Golding.
Bit like the first quarter, so where they just got a turning over half back Lindisfarne.
That quick kick came in and Barnett takes the mark. He'll still take his best.
Bit too far out maybe?
Maybe.
Just interesting, a couple of little errors there from Lindisfarne. Oh, sorry, from Schenk in this game. It's such a great player, Schenk. Gritty, gutsy, clever. 2 times he should have tried to just stop it or get it over the boundary line for a ball up, but he's lost the ball and it's been cleared too easily. This is big. So kick from Thorpe. Oh, I can hear the noise. They've got 2 in a couple of minutes. And here come the Lions. Big kick, big moment. And a wonderful goal from Barnett. And he points to some fans and he ute behind the goals. And the Lions, after being down for most of the third quarter, as I see this kick and goal, we said he might not have the distance. He easily got the distance. Wonderful stuff from the Lions. Let's see if Lindisfarne can respond. 68 to 59 on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. And everything's back with Polanowski and Ward. The goal kicker misses it. Dish from Tenny.
Oh, he's good, Ryan Martin.
Martin with a handball further forward. Golding misses it. Cassidy with a little handball back to Martin. That's a little hold on the left shoulder. He's involved, Thorpe. And he's going to have a free kick. And he's going to want the ball. And now there's a scuffle. Don't give it away. Tennick just sitting over the footy. She's going, well, you have to push me off to get it. So, there you go. Do it. I'm always on the ground. Dale Thorpe. Good couple of minutes from him. A steady kick. It's a bit quirky, though. And I'm not sure who he was trying to find there because there's a 1 lead. Second lead coming from Blackburn. So Blackburn playing deep at the moment. It's going to come back towards Blackburn. He nearly marked the football. Punched out of his hands. It's in towards Thorpe again. Bash, crash from Barnett. Barnett again. Brilliant. Oh, what a mark. Great grab taken by nearly our favourite, Cameron Johns. What a star. One of the best defenders in Tasmanian community football, maybe in all of footy. Chips it out. There's a replay again, the Mood Food replay.
So Vincent into the middle of the ground, finds that man Thorpe. Thorpe with a burner out towards McIndoe. A good little shepherd there by Moody. And handballed up to the man, and Moody was saying, just take it out, just take it out.
Yeah. That was my bit about Shank. Both times in the pocket, he just needed the ball to go over the boundary line. Sometimes your boundary line's your friend, isn't it? Maybe not your best friend, but, you know, an okay friend. You'll hang out like you hang out with me, Tubes.
No, you're all right. You go okay.
There's a dog on the other side of the ground who just smashed a footy, just bit into it. I think it actually popped it.
Yep, out it comes now. Who kicked that last goal? Barnett.
Barnett.
So he's got a couple, Tristan. And they're out now by a couple of points. 9 of them in actual fact, the Huonville Lions. And just a little arm wrestle again. We keep using that analogy.
It's pretty correct though, isn't it?
Absolutely. So ball up right at centre wing here. Polanowski. Thorpe, run it down. Schenk got pushed off the ball by Martin, who's playing a good game of footy here. Now the ball finds a little bit of space. Vincent with a handball, scoops it up. Rawson, who's a good user of the footy, goes down towards Brock. Case Miller caught a little bit behind there, and Ethan Brock will go back and have a shot.
We can't do much. That's such a good kick, wasn't it? Turned his body, and that's as good a deliveries as Brock's received. But every time Brock gets it, geez, he's dangerous, isn't he? Such an efficient foot. Here you get to see him turn. Doesn't have to be the perfect drop punt. That's hard to defend.
Very difficult. So in he comes, Ethan Brock.
Let's look at the Dunstall approach. There, a little flick of the grass as well, a little flick of mud.
In he comes, the little champ from the Huonville Lions. Gets close to the man on the mark. He likes it off the boot. Ethan Brock, he's kicked 3. 15 points the margin in favour of the Lions as they look towards Signet in the grand final, but don't ride off the Lindisfarne 2 Blues, Peach.
You deliberately said that's 20 minutes to go, maybe longer, maybe 27, 28. There's stacks of time as we've seen the Brock kick. And the delight of the Lion proudly adjourn this amalgamated footy club, the Franklin Lions. Merged many years ago. Some nice paraphernalia down at the Franklin Hotel too, if anyone's a fan. And I'm a Fitzroy supporter, so I'd love anything with a lion on it. So Polanowski, McIndoe just gets his handball out to Houth. Spinning over. Kurt Blaisley, neat. Blaisley decides not to go to goal. Now it's Martin who's had a good little minute here. Martin kicks it, a little wobbly, and they're defending gamely at the moment to Johns. Johns off half back to Schenk. Schenk always seems to have the ball just a little bit further away than he wants. It's always 1 metre away from him, Schenk. Yeah. This whole game, it's been one of those days. He's still playing well, Schenk, and out of bounds.
Cam Johns blames himself there. I'm not sure. The kick was pretty good.
He just, yeah, it was, I mean, it was certainly adequate. So, the slightly dry side of the ground hasn't been over here too often. Definitely the attacking side as Huonville kicking towards the traditional scoring into the ground as Tenick rushes in. McIndoe cuts that one off. Bashed off the ground by Booth. Comes past again. Rawson, he can't get it. Great tackle laid by Thorpe. The umpire said no. Tenick now with using hands. Chopping it off was Reece Ward. Need to get a kick away just in time. Douglas spinning it around. Climb up through half forward. Oh. Dash. Oh, brilliant. Brock passes it off. Mickey Poole stops 6. Brock to Poole. Splendid football.
Wow. Brilliant stuff out there. It was chopped off nicely by Reece Ward at half back. And they moved the ball fast and they're celebrating pretty hard, but there's plenty of time in this game of footy. The margin out to 21 points.
Stagnated a bit, Lindisfarne, haven't they? Look at that from Brock. He was going to have a shot, and he realised Paul was there. And Paul just gave us a little bit of a jiggery moment. And then hooked up.
He pumping the dumbbells, old Mickey Paul.
His fans. Is that the Mickey Paul fan club just behind the goals there?
Everyone's a Mickey Paul fan down here at Huonville as it comes out for McIndoe. Down towards Brock. Case Miller doing well. Mickey Paul, chance to give one back for Ethan Brock. Bends it around, touch ball, play on. Joey Miller with a handball over the top.
Back again.
Ethan Brock just dropped it like a hot potato. Goal, then just got dragged off the footy. Reece Douglas gets it back to Mickey Paul. Paul through the middle to Hay. Hay just sends it, and it goes through from behind.
See, they've got all the play at the moment, though. Although in saying that, the half forwards, or I should say the half backs of Huonville haven't pushed up the ground, so they can score on the turnover here, Lindisfarne. A little sloppy here at the moment, structurally, Huonville.
Cassidy off to Bailey. Bailey with a nice kick down, looking for Roberts. Working it across the front of his body there was Johns. Actually, it's not at all Johns, it's Keegan. Keegan on hands and knees. They dive in it, they drag it in. He said Westbury got his handball off to Cassidy. Cassidy sends one down towards this man. It's Kurt Baker. And this one should be taken by the umpire.
Interesting. Baker's gone deep. Cassidy's come a fair way up the ground to get that ball. Roberts is a little bit further up the ground as well, so they've structured up a little different here. Even someone like Westbury could play forward. Grinding in the ruck was Cassidy. Nearly a throw out. Tenick will get there first. He gets knocked off the football. This is, look at this contest down here. Hay missed him. Miller chops it off to Ward. Ward's just dribbled that one along the ground. I assume that wasn't deliberate. Joey Miller nearly falling over, then getting himself accustomed to being upright. Baker, good handball. Edmondson, Roberts now. Spills the first one. Spills the second. They'll just relieve it for now. Ward, that's a great kick by Ward. Is it going to stay in play? It was just out. Just out. Only just in front of Hay. So kick comes in. They're going to take it back though, so it didn't kick over the mark. Okay, great work there by Ben Duffy on the camera. Spot on the money. So high kick to right in front of us. There you can feel the thump there. That was thump, nearly sucked the ball, knocked the air out of the ball.
Yeah, that's my man, Nikolai Housing. Big Pumba, they call him Train. Call him Pumba, he's got about 17 different nicknames.
How many nicknames have you given him?
Just the one. Ball in, here at half forward. Polonowski wins it down. Tenick, smart, got his handball over to Westbury. Westbury running Martin. Martin can kick it from here. He goes deep inside forward 50. Johns and Adams doing battle in the pocket. Adams picks it up, then just dropped it. Blackburn now with a bit of chance. His handball missed the mark. McIndoe, he can't quite get it. Adams slid in on his hands and knees there. Down there's Johns. Johns got it off his handball away, out towards Tenick, and it's wrapped up here for Adams.
Just a Blackburn handball. Usually nails that to Roberts. Missed him, and not under a huge amount of pressure.
They need a goal here, the Two Blues. 13.5 minutes gone in the fourth term. It's the Lions by 22 points. Westbury in the ruck. Did all right. Mickey Paul happy to see it across the line. There's a bit of a mismatch here back at centre-half forward.
You've got it. There you go. Oh, he's coming in the ruck now. He's going to have to run back. He's going to go back onto him too, Barnett. No.
So a ball in. Mickey Paul works it to the front, then just punches it down to Signet. Picked up by Rogers, who just trapped by Rawson, and another boundary throw in at half forward for the Two Blues.
Well, who's going to be the goal kicker here, Tubes? Where's the work needs to be done by Lindisfarne? They need maybe a Roberts special, maybe even someone like Michael Blackburn. Push out by Paul. The umpire didn't see it. Theodore James, he can kick goals as well. Teague Westbury dipping down and grabbing the football. Here's Blackburn, scoops it off, steadies, right on his boot, swings it around, punch through, hit the post behind. Well, we mentioned Blackburn. Nearly delivered, smacking into those very thinly padded posts. I feel like they're not regulation. David Manchan, I know he's listening, mate. Dave, you need to get that sorted. Get some, get an old mattress out of your garage, mate. Kick goes up high, and a juggling mark is taken by Quarrier. Quarrier, number one haircut on the field. Rawson. 1-2 lead from Douglas. He goes into the middle. Well, that was lucky. Is that play on? No. Kicked off. Got a player all by himself. Is he going to get it? Juggle once, juggle twice. Houth, tight. Houth dribbles. Len lays some pressure, slings him to the ground. That is a behind. So Houth misses it, and a minor score. Handy one, though, 22 points.
Play on's the call as they bring it out from full-back. Goal sends it long, down towards this man in Young. Takes it, it's actually Johns who takes a strong mark. Moves it into the middle of the ground, finds Rogers. Rogers handballs off to a running man in Johns. Johns goes forward. McIndoe going back with a flight, got pushed off the ball by Baker, who ended up with a footy. Then a smart kick down inside forward 50, punched away. Cassidy at the back. Who's down there? Cam Johns can't quite get it. Umpire in the hot spot, saw him dragged off the footy.
Yeah,
Sam Adams not happy with it, but it's a free kick and it was there.
I reckon Sam Adams didn't know he didn't have the ball. Here it is here. I reckon he still, no, he would have seen it.
Oh, yuck. That's an absolutely terrible kick. Moody got his kick away just a little too high there. Tennick, how'd that go 15? Well, goodness me.
It went 7, but that's okay.
Tennick looks inboard, goes towards Martin. He's got Mickey Paul on him, and Martin does well. Read the ball best. Mickey Paul didn't have his eyes on the footy. Ryan Martin's a beautiful kick of the ball. He's got the journey from here easy. Not this time, though. He looks down towards Cassidy. Cassidy from behind, and he takes the mark.
No, they're saying, well, so Golding's saying got a hand up, but that's okay. That's always a mark in modern footy or any football. Juggled it, you'll see on the replay. He's saying he had a hand at Golding, but that's a mark.
Yep. So Cassidy's going to go back and have a shot at his third. No problem from here from the big guy from Lindisfarne, and he's got it. That's the first goal of the fourth term for the Lindisfarne Two Blues, and he's getting his boys fired up. 16-point the margin. 17 minutes gone.
So Cassidy's had about 4 opportunities where the ball's been on top of his head, and he hasn't ever had one leading out. I don't reckon I've seen him on the lead today. Maybe once on that time he did get the mark, because he got Johns and Golding so good at just smacking that ball out of his hands. But on that one, he got it and keeps him in the game.
Certainly does keep him in the game. 7.5 minutes gone. It is a 16-point margin in favour of the Lions. I feel like they've been more pressing and dominant in the last 5 minutes.
It's levelled up. In fact, I feel it's the middle of the ground. This is where they're going to win the game. They're going to win it with Gleeson back on, which is really helpful. Polanowski, that combination, and Blaisley. Those 3 will win this game for Lindisfarne.
Punch down, looking for Bailey. Scooping it back. Oh,
that's
top one high.
I mean, you want to be involved, but that's sloppy, isn't it?
Schenk played on quickly, moved the ball up. Theo James and Elliott. Elliott sliding through the mud, and umpires pulled out another free kick here.
Was high, was on his right shoulder by James. Unlucky, really unlucky. Get that ball, wipe that ball.
Who's marking it here? Goodness me.
It's Elliott, isn't it?
Elliott. No, I'm just wondering who's going to mark it. Oh, Brock flew high. It slipped through his fingertips, out the back for Bailey. Bailey's kick's no good. It finds Schenk.
Wipe the ball, Schenk.
Schenk goes short. Finds a teammate in Ward.
There we go. Ward's wiping it.
Yeah, about time. Now Clennon's minus 10.
You want to? Yeah, you got to
can't see it anymore.
Got to get the sponsor.
Off.
A bit like cricket, you need like a little bit of something in your pocket just to dry the ball.
A little bit of sandpaper. In comes Ward from deep. Oh, it's no good.
Oh,
Brock! Was it touched off the boot, perhaps, as that one's forced across the line?
Only Brock in that position, cramped in the pocket, could kick a goal. That was unreal.
Johns brings the ball in quickly as the darkness starts to fall across the valley. Barnacle's underneath it. Gold just had it swatted away from him. Barnacle rode the bump. And it's a free kick.
Yeah.
Going to Theo James. Handballed off to Gall. He's the designated kicker. He looks out. Here's Cassidy on the lead, just like you requested, Peach. He swings around on the left, goes inboard, finds Baker. Baker looks up. He's got a leading man in the pocket. It's Westbury. He's all by himself.
Yep, you called. Westbury might be one that needs to kick a couple of goals. Here's a good kick. I just feel
he's a bit of coaching here on the sideline. Just wait for Cass.
I reckon he's 1 metre within his limit here, just within his limit.
He'll kick from right on 50. It's not going to make the journey. Cassidy will fly, bumps from behind, nice fist down from the front, driven away by Vincent, and it's out here for Hay.
So Hay off the ground. What about effort from him? Hasn't worked though because it's missed his teammate. Polanowski's going to lean a long way down into the Huonville turf. Scooping it up was Johns. Johns to James. James waits, goes to the middle. Wow, great mark by Keegan.
He's been good today.
I haven't seen much of him so far, but he's been outstanding.
Everything he's done.
Yep.
He's been good.
No, he's been great. So kicks it up. No, bar that. So anyway, back to Johns. Johns, that's a strange kick. Really high from Johns. Paul smacks it out towards Vincent. Vincent with some territory gained by him and some run. Up to half forward. Schenk drops. Now it's one out by Hay. Hay's ball smothered but gets it back again. Hay now up to half forward. 1-on-1 contest, Brock. Brilliant. Will play on. Holds it though. He's really holding it.
There's no one down there.
So Brock now swings it around. Up to half forward. He's trying to find Houth. Houth misses it. Snap in the pocket. It's gone across the face of everybody and through. I think that was Elliott there in the pocket.
Well, pots and pans, man. Jerry says game over. Well, there's plenty of time left, Jero. Some of these quarters have been going over 30 minutes.
This will be a 29.5-minute quarter.
Yep. Okay, there you go. Hot tip from Peach as Elliott wins it down, taps it only as far as Martin. Martin gets his kick away. Who's out here for the Lindisfarne 2 Blues? It's just bounced in front of Cassidy and just inside the line for a boundary throw-in.
Well, as I mentioned, two Cygnet or two Huonville teams, or Huon Valley teams, I should say, in a grand final. Not done yet.
No.
It's been a while.
Huonville Lions 12-11, 83, lead Lindisfarne 9-12, 66. That one's okay for Blaisley. Blaisley looks up. They're being well marked down here, the forwards for the 2 Blues. So he goes across the face of goal, finds a man in Hutchinson. Hutchinson in the centre of the oval, goes one way, then back the other. Finds a man in Bailey. Bailey's got a man short in Rogers if he wants. He turns against that and goes towards Baker. Gleeson, Ward, and now the handball out for that man in Vincent.
It's falling over at half forward at the moment, Lindisfarne. They got Young up there, which is not a bad option, but missing some opportunities.
Handball came out. Quick kick around the corner by Baker. This will land in the arms of Adams. Now Hutchinson up the wing. Touched away by Bailey. That's Westbury actually. Now Ward with a little 9-9 out in front of Quarrier, who takes a diving mark. Good stuff from the youngster. He looks up, plays on quickly, down towards Brock. Brock strong, keeps his feet.
He's beaten 3.
Unbelievable stuff from Ethan Brock. Here he goes, dodges one way, got his handball out somehow to Houth. Houth with a bend. Down towards Hay. Hay finds the front position. There's a chance at the back for Hay. Kicking off the ground. And Elliott sees it off for a behind.
Elliott rushing it through. I kind of think Elliott might have dragged that one back in and just keep the ball in play.
How's this for a mark?
A beauty. Nearly flipped, cut himself in half. So with 23 gone, we think there's around 5 minutes left. It looks like a challenging task here for the two Blues. And the smell of the valley will be coming into North Hobart, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. They need to score in the next minute to give themselves some belief and give themselves a chance. Certainly on the Jackson Motor Company scoreboard. Throw up here on half back for Lindisfarne. Wonderful ruck contest between Ward and the Reese variety and Polanowski. Houth couldn't get it out. Booth just hacks it up towards the pocket. Tennick wins back and takes a chest mark in front of Dale Thorpe. Lead on from Blackburn. It's coming to him now. Jumping into the middle is Housing. Great contest in the middle. Housing then gets the ball in the right spot. Kicks it up towards half forward. Houth misses him. Some dash off half back here from Lindisfarne.
Oh, great work
Brilliant.
by Schenk.
Wow, Schenk coming up. Baker dishes the ball over the top to Bailey. Bailey's got a runner past him. He's going to have to get it away. And maybe that's the moment. Maybe that's the tackle. Maybe that moment will give Huonville enough to get them the win.
Dale Thorpe with a chase down tackle here on Jackie Gleeson. Beautiful stuff. As that one's dangerous. It works out okay for Vincent. And Vincent looks up at Dale Thorpe and says, oh, I had a bit of mud in my eyes. And then arriving late into my eye vision was Big Mick Cassidy.
Oh.
Big fly by Edmondson. Surely that's a free kick.
A little bit late there. The umpire, the non-controlling umpire called that one.
Little fly there from Edmondson on Quarrier. Not sure who's washing the white shorts of Lindisfarne this week, but they've got a fair bit of work to do.
Maybe they're not going to play next week. They won't worry about it.
Well, never say never. As the kick comes long, McIndoe with strength. Tennick trying hard. Out the back, here's a chance for Bailey. Bailey's kick's okay, although slipping over was Blackburn. Vincent's been very, very good. Here's a short one. And finds Ward, who's been probably beaten in the ruck, but around the ground he's been very good. Short one's on to Jack Houth. It's centre wing now. Houth looks up. He's got no one really to kick to. It's been a good flood back by the Lindisfarne 2 Blues defensive work. Baker, short little handball out to a man in Roberts. Roberts gets it off to Young, and now Johns goes long out into the mud pit. Working him under the ball, Johns did well.
How good was Johns on Young now? I mean, Young's a good play. Just made him look a little foolish.
Numbers everywhere here. Vincent sells the candy. Hutchinson has Booth short. Booth from deep goes long into the deep, and Hay takes the mark at the back.
Wow.
Dylan Hay will go back from right in front, and this might be all she wrote.
The umpire's getting his hair right too for this little spot on camera.
So waterproof Booth with the kick. You have a look at Boothie. It just fades off him. He hasn't even got mud on him, Wade Booth. Wayne. In comes Dylan Hay. Oh, yuck.
Oh, ouch. Holy trousers.
Yucky, yucky, yucky. So that's the fifth behind, and that was a dank kick.
Yeah, wet pasty.
Goal, brings it in, punched away nicely. Westbury got his kick away, just numbers here though for the Lions. Going back, here's a chance for Housing. Housing across the face of goal. Was looking for McIndoe, but got a little bit too much on it. Quarrier, Joey Miller, tapped forward by Schenk. Off the ground by Quarrier, down towards Hay. He's got to make one up here. Out it comes for Ward. Ward looks up, sends it long, and there's the siren. That's out on the full, but it doesn't matter. The Huonville Lions are into a grand final. They defeat the Lindisfarne 2 Blues 12-13-85 to Lindisfarne 9-12-66. Goal kickers for Huonville. Michael Paul had 6. Ethan Brock had 3. Tristan Barnett with a couple and Matt Schenk with 1. The 2 Blues, Cassidy with 3. Ryan Martin with 1. Jack Gleeson, Blazey, Kurt Baker and Tej Westbury with 1 apiece. And it was a tale of 2 quarters really there, Peach. Each way, when you look at the scores, they were all kicked towards the north of this ground.
Yeah, certainly the scoring end was to the left-hand side of the screen, back towards Metropolitan Hobart. and that's where the goals were kicked by Mick Paul, who kicked 6. But it wasn't that. It was the back half, I think, today was gamely led, always led by Cameron Johns. Daniel Golding, unheralded player, wonderful defender, and he had the nugget of Douglas and Wade Booth getting the ball in the middle, and then McIndoe got a little bit of the ball. Maybe some unheralded players. Schenk was good, particularly in the first half. I really like Reece Ward. Second half from him, got loose, got away from that ruck contest, got the ball around the ground. Probably the difference in the end, Brock and Paul, a little bit more elusive. They also had slightly better ball into them, whereas the balls into Cassie were high. The only times he got on the lead was when he was about 80 to 90 metres away from goal. Made it a hard day from him, and probably a few injuries to Lindisfarne too.
Yeah, I think Brad Tenick copped a knock, which really hindered his movement throughout the whole game. But you're right, it was just better ball movement up forward. Great defensive game from both the half-back lines.
Yeah, brilliant. Yep,
both half-back lines were excellent. I thought Joey Miller was excellent for the Two Blues. Goal chipped in there nicely. Who's going to be the ID Clothing Player of the match? We'll have to find out a little bit later on. But I'll tell you what, Cameron Johns coming back into the side after missing last week is a huge in for the Huonville Lions.
Yeah, he'd be sitting at the top for me. I think he was fabulous today. Leader.
Alex Vincent was good across half-back too.
Yep.
Thomas Keegan, everything he did touched to gold, and that is the season over for the Lindisfarne Two Blues. Their slow start probably cost them home finals.
Three and zip, and that would have probably they get one win there, makes the road. Maybe they get 2, then they've potentially got a home prelim. It changed the narrative for them. Got to say, they've got some players moved on. They've got a new coaching structure. You know, they've got Jason Elmer's come in to help out with Cassidy on the bench. These guys know footy really well. Got a core group of players still there. 1 or 2 players back. It'll be interesting to see if any of the guys from Richmond head back that way with the COVID protocol. So October 31, that all changes for them. But I mean, they'll be disappointed not to be playing in a grand final, which, to be honest, Tubes, we get to the end of September, Lindisfarne are always there. Been a while, then they haven't played in a grand final.
No, that's right. It'll be an Elevate Wealth SFL grand final between the Cygnet, Port and the Huonville Lions, and all Huon Valley grand final next week. It'll be played at North Hobart. It'll be live streamed across the globe thanks to Elevate Wealth, ID Clothing and EIS Property, and of course Jackson Motor Company, Bennett's Petroleum, Mood Food, Peach.
Yeah,
and a very entertaining game of footy.
Yeah, the first quarter and probably half of the second quarter, free-flowing football, really engaging to watch. Lots of skills on display. Then we had 30 minutes of real quagmire, stuck in the Western Front style football, where I actually felt Lindisfarne liked that. They preferred it, but then we saw early in that last quarter, Mickey Paul turned it on. They got the ball out of the middle. Cameron Johnson steadied the ship. When they did turn it over, he was down in defence. That ball movement wasn't quite as good as we mentioned. Can't wait for next week. What a beauty it's going to be. And Tubes, what I mentioned before is for around a decade, with Channel folding and Cygnet down the bottom, and Huonville sort of at the bottom of the ladder, and Commandy also folding a decade ago, you kind of felt footy in this community, it dropped off. We've seen the Port Colts boys outstanding. Their women's team strong. Now there's a multitude of teams from this part of the community back in Southern Footy League. It's a super comp this year. I mean, this is the best comp we've had for a long time in relation to players, the style of footy, the coaches. So any team that wins a grand final this year in COVID will have won an absolute beauty. And the 2 teams south of the saddle are going to be there at North Hobart. What a ripper.
They certainly will be, Peach. All right, that is it from us here at the Huonville Oval. My name is Tubes Taylor. I've been joined by Peachy Roberts, of course, Ben Duffy up on the camera. Well done to Jerry Martindale on the pots and pans. We'll see you next week for the Elevate Wealth SFL Grand Final between the Cygnet Footy Club and the Huonville Lions. Until then, tune in to the William Leach Medal presentations tonight from 7 p.m. My name is Tubes Taylor. We'll see you at the footy next week, the Grand Final.
Taken, there we go. Spot on. Good call from the umpire. Ryan Martin wasn't happy with the high contact. And to be honest, Tubes, it was unnecessary.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ryan Martin will take a kick here. He's got the journey in him too. He's a beautiful kick of the footy, Ryan Martin. In he comes. As you say, unnecessary from Chris Elliott. Martin sends it long. Sends it strong, sends it home. Ryan Martin gets his second of the day. The first goal of the third term goes in favour of the Lindisfarne Two Blues, and Chris Elliott's
going down is McIndoe. Some pressure on him. Weaving, circling, cramped up. Handball out, nicely done by Husing. Up to half forward. Big contest there as two players ricocheted into each other. And let's hope in front. He gets a lead, decides to hold one from Blackburn and kicks it high up towards the forward 50. Johns whacks with his left hand and rakes it across the line, but snap! Out of the pack, is that Blackburn?
Pretty sure it was. Let's take another look at the Mood Food replay. It doesn't matter. It's a goal to the Lindisfarne 2 Blues, and they've hit the...
And Young will go out towards the scoreboard. Long lead from Cassidy. Gets onto it. Wheels around as he so often does. Driving kick inside the forward 50.
Oh.
What a mark by Gleeson. Climbed up high, dragged it down from the stratosphere. And this goes up. He could not win it. Polanowski with a ruck contest. Run here by Miller. Miller's dragged to the ground. Wonderful tackle by Ward of the lean variety. And that is holding.
Look, he's such a competitor, and it was an off-the-ball hit, but he was trying to push Dale Thorpe off the ball. I don't see much of that, nothing to speak of anyway, as the kick comes forward now by Thorpe.
That's a
down towards Paul, who takes a 1-metre.
Well, it's interesting. Polanowski fell over. I don't think there was a push. Great umpiring. Look at Paul. He's pumped.
Well, he looked over to the old wet area there, Mickey Paul, his loyal subjects, and said, hey, watch this. I'm about to drag him across the line. Take another look at this on the Mood Food replay.
Yeah, Polanowski tripped. He tripped over.
No, he got pushed over by his own teammate.
Yeah, it was Edmondson, wasn't it?
Here we go, Mickey Paul for his 5th goal. And here comes the champ from Huonville, and he sends it home. He's happy with it off the boot. Mickey Paul gets his 5th of the game, and Huonville are back in front.
Just interesting, a couple of little errors there from Lindisfarne. Oh, sorry, from Schenk in this game. It's such a great player, Schenk. Gritty, gutsy, clever. 2 times he should have tried to just stop it or get it over the boundary line for a ball up, but he's lost the ball and it's been cleared too easily. This is big. So, kick from Thorpe. Oh, I can hear the noise. They've got 2 in a couple of minutes. And here come the Lions. Big kick, big moment.
Polanowski, Thorpe, run it down. Schenk got pushed off the ball by Martin, who's playing a good game of footy here. Now the ball finds a little bit of space. Vincent with a handball, scoops it up. Rawson, who's a good user of the footy, goes down towards Brock. Case Miller caught a little bit behind there, and Ethan Brock will go back and have a shot.
We can't do much. That's such a good kick, wasn't it? Turned his body, and that's as good a deliveries as Brock's received. But every time Brock gets it, geez, he's dangerous, isn't he? Such an efficient foot. Here you get just see him turn. Doesn't have to be the perfect drop punt. That's hard to defend.
No, very difficult. So in he comes, Ethan Brock.
Let's look at the Dunstall approach. There, a little flick of the grass as well, a little flick of mud.
In he comes, the little champ from the Huonville Lions. Gets close to the man on the mark. He likes it off the boot. Ethan Brock, he's kicked 3. 15 points the margin in favour of the Lions as they look towards Signet in the grand final, but don't ride off the Lindisfarne 2 Blues.
The ground as Tennick rushes in. McIndoe cuts that one off. Bashed off the ground by Booth. Comes past again. Rawson, he can't get it. Great tackle laid by Thorpe. The umpire said no. Tennick now with using hands. Chopping it off was Reece Ward. Need to get a kick away just in time. Douglas spinning it around. Climb up through half forward. Dash. Oh, brilliant. Brock passes it off. Mickey Paul stops 6. Brock to Paul. Splendid football.
Wow, brilliant stuff out there. It was chopped off nicely by Reece Ward at half back, and they moved 15. Well, goodness me.
It went 7, but that's okay.
Tennick looks inboard, goes towards Martin. He's got Mickey Paul on him, and Martin does well. Read the ball best. Mickey Paul didn't have his eyes on the footy. Ryan Martin's a beautiful kick of the ball. He's got the journey from here easy. Not this time, though. He looks down towards Cassidy. Cassidy from behind, and he takes the mark.
No, they're saying, well, so Golding's saying got a hand up, but that's okay. That's always a mark in modern footy or any football. Juggled it, you'll see on the replay. He's saying he had a hand at a Golding, but that's a mark.
Yep. So Cassidy's going to go back and have a shot at his 3rd. No problem from here from the big guy from Lindisfarne, and he's got it. That's the first goal of the 4th term for the Lindisfarne 2 Blues, and he's getting his boys fired up. 16. That's Westbury, actually. Now Ward with a little 9-9 out in front of Quarrier, who takes a diving mark. Good stuff from the youngster.
He looks spot. Kicks it up towards half forward. Houth misses him. Some dash off half back here from Lindisfarne.
Oh, great work
Brilliant.
by Schenk.
Wow, Schenk coming up. Baker dishes the ball over the top to Bailey. Bailey's got a runner past him. He's going to have to get it away, and maybe that's the moment. Maybe that's the tackle. Maybe that moment will give Huonville enough to get them the win.
Dale Thorpe did well.
How good was Johns on Young now? I mean, Young's a good play. Just made him look a little foolish.
Numbers everywhere here. Vincent sells the candy. Hutchinson has Booth short. Booth from deep goes long into the deep, and Hay takes the mark at the back.
Wow.
Dylan Hay will go back from right in front, and this might be all she wrote.
The umpire's getting his hair right too for this little spot on camera.
So waterproof Booth with the kick. You have a look at Boothie. It just fades off him. He hasn't even got mud on him, Wade Booth. Wayne. In comes Dylan Hay. Oh, yuck.
Oh, ouch. Holy trousers.
Yucky, yucky, yucky. So that's the fifth behind, and that was a dank kick.
Yeah, wet pasty.
Goal. Westbury got his kick away. Just numbers here though for the Lions. Going back. Here's a chance for Housing. Housing across the face of goal. Was looking for McIndoe, but got a little bit too much on it. Quarrier, Joey Miller, tapped forward by Schenk. Off the ground by Quarrier. Down towards Hay. He's got to make one up here. Out it comes for Ward. Ward looks up, sends it long, and there's the siren. That's out on the full, but it doesn't matter. The Huonville Lions are into a grand final. They defeat the Lindisfarne Two Blues 12-13-85 to Lindisfarne 9-12-66. Goal kickers for Huonville. Michael Paul had 6. Ethan Brock had 3. Tristan Barnett with a couple.